Well, it's the big one today. It's the Champions League final as the defending champions Paris Saint-Germain are up against the champions of England, Arsenal. And what a game we have in store for us. What a way to end the watch-along here for this season. It has been an absolute pleasure. I've loved every single moment of it. And thank you so much for everybody who's been tuning in throughout the season. I'm Suraj. I'm the host of Under the Sun. And this is the Champions League final watch-along. Well, we've got the team news early, and I'm going to quickly go through everything before we go into slightly more in-depth analysis about how both teams are going to be figuring out throughout the 90 minutes here, and possibly even more. Well, no surprises with PSG's side or with Arsenal's, really, with PSG going with Safanov in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, William Pacho and Nuno Mendes as the back four, Joao Neves, Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz as the midfield three. And the front three is absolutely electrifying with pace, directness, running ability, and going to cause the Arsenal defense all sorts of problems with Desiree Doué, Ousmane Dembele and Kviza Kvaratskhelia. Well, Kvaratskhelia has come to life, hasn't he? Since the round of 16, he's been scoring regularly. He's the danger man from Arsenal's point of view because they don't have either Ben White nor Jurriën Timber in the starting 11. It's Christian Mosquera playing right back, so he's going to be up against the Georgian, and that is going to be a very, very interesting battle. For Arsenal, they've got David Raya in goal, Pierre Hincapié as the left back, Gabriel Saliba as the two centre-halves, and of course, as we mentioned before, Mosquera as the right back today. Lewis Kelly starts in midfield alongside Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard with the captain's armband and the number 10 position, with Leandro Trossard starting on the left, Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz leading the line for Arsenal. Well, it's the champions of France versus the champions of England in Budapest, and this has all the makings of a brilliant final here. PSG, the holders who beat Inter Milan 5-0 in the final last season. Arsenal, their last final was in 2006 in Paris. It's been a long, long time since then. The Arsenal fans waiting that maybe this is the year where all the riches come in one single season, in one fell swoop. That's the stakes on hand here today. Both clubs getting the job done domestically. PSG were absolutely brilliant. Yes, Lens did give them a bit of problems. Same could be said about Arsenal. They thought that the title might be out their hands after Manchester City beat them at the Etihad Stadium. And that's the thing, right? It felt like it was done, but Everton giving Arsenal a huge helping hand. That 3-3 draw at the Hillsdickin Stadium meant that it was back in Arsenal's hands, and from there Arsenal were perfect. They won all the remaining games, and from there they are your champions after a 22-year wait. The Premier League champions is a big tick for them, and can they add that extra bit of silverware which will make this a season to never forget from an Arsenal point of view. I was talking to a friend before. I was telling him that if Arsenal win the Champions League here, that 2003-2004 side, which is much lauded, much admired, much loved by everyone across, might have to take a back seat here because it's all about the hardware, isn't it? Yes, the 2003-2004 side played some liquid football under Arsene Wenger, but Mikel Arteta has turned this club around and then some. Who beat Inter Milan. Well, we talked about the starting 11s from both sides. Well, there was a bit of news that maybe Achraf Hakimi wouldn't be fit enough to play, but he starts at right back, which means that Zaire Emery is on the bench. I was expecting him maybe to be at right back with Fabian Ruiz in midfield, but it looks like PSG have no issues whatsoever in terms of their starting 11. The same can be said from Arsenal's point of view. Only Ben White missing from the squad, and other than that, they've got the likes of Eberechi Eze, Victor Gyökeres, Jurriën Timber all on the bench, and they could play a huge part if the game demands such. Well, let me know in the comment section, what do you think the scoreline would be? Get involved here. This is going to be a big build up to the final here. We have kickoff in about 40 minutes time, and it has everything. I can't wait, man. Neither of my teams are going to play here, but still, I have butterflies. It's final time. Always exciting, and we're hoping that this final is going to be a lovely one. A great watch for the neutrals, and of course PSG and Arsenal, good luck to both of you, man. It's been a brilliant season for you all, and it's an opportunity to add the crown with the big ears. Champions League final nights. I mean, check on all your Arsenal friends, man. They are going to be a nervous wreck. They're going to be on the edge of their seats, covering their eyes, maybe even their ears, hoping that their side can get the job done here. 40 minutes to kick off, and we'll be going through the build-up as the time goes on. Well, it's brilliant, isn't it? We talked about the Champions League final, right? It never happens in your first attempt. Ask any big club. It takes time. It takes one heartbreak before you learn as a club. You look at Chelsea, right? In 2007, we had heartbreak in Moscow. But then, a few years later in Munich, we end up winning the Champions League final against all odds. You ask the rest of the clubs, the same things happen. Arsenal have gone through that in Paris in 2005, 2006. They've had to wait nearly 20 years for that to happen again in the final here today. And if you look at the likes of PSG as well, they had to go through heartbreak in Lisbon when Thomas Tuchel was the manager and Kingsley Coman scored the only goal when Bayern Munich lifted the crown with no fans in the crowd. So Arsenal fans, this might be a good omen for you guys. But then again, it's all about the 90 minutes on the pitch and possibly even more. If this game goes to extra time or even pens, my goodness me, it is going to be a nervous wreck from both fans' point of view. Well, PSG and Arsenal, both top of their leagues. PSG played 34 games, 76 points, with 24 wins, 4 draws, 6 losses, and a goal difference of plus 45 was it? They were absolutely easily brushing away sides. Yes, Lens did give them a bit of a scare, but PSG, as they always do, get the job done domestically. Bradley Barcola was their top scorer in the league with 11 league goals. He doesn't start today, but he's on the bench. That is a fantastic option for Luis Enrique to have, especially if the game is stretched and they need a bit more directness on either wing here. Dembele, Vitinha, Mendes, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, I mean, their assist kings are also in full force. We know that they can get the job done. They can keep the ball well in midfield. The way that Vitinha can just hold the ball or even accelerate the tempo is a brilliant skill to have. Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz on either side gives you that class, tenacity, that passing ability, and going to make it very difficult for Arsenal in midfield. From Arsenal's point of view, yes, the threat of PSG's counter-attack, speed, running, all has to be countered with their physicality and their aerial prowess. That is going to be absolutely critical from their point of view, because PSG are not the tallest, strongest side. They're more of the technical, diminutive players who can, shift the ball quickly. But if Arsenal can overpower them, that might be one of the tactics that Mikel Arteta is going to try and use here. Kai Havertz starting over Victor Gyökeres is certainly a big call from Mikel Arteta's point of view, but not surprising considering Mikel Arteta absolutely loves Kai Havertz. So you know that he was going to always start, and of course Kai Havertz did score the winning goal in the Champions League final against Manchester City in Porto in 2021, and Kai Havertz looking to do that heroics again, this time in the Puskás Arena in Budapest. When we go through the journeys, you know that Arsenal absolutely dominated the group stages. 8 games played, 8 wins. How many goals did they concede? Was it 4 goals that they conceded in the group stages? Yes, the group was pretty much in their favor, but they did dismantle Bayern Munich, and we saw them again have a luck of the draw in terms of avoiding the big boys, in terms of how they were able to kind of avoid that part of the bracket, and that was absolutely critical, wasn't it, from their point of view? But got the job done against Leverkusen in the round of 16. It was a 1-1 draw in the first leg where Kai Havertz scored, and then at the Emirates Stadium beating Leverkusen 2-0. Eberechi Eze scoring a rocket, and then of course Declan Rice adding the seal to the round of 16. And then in the quarterfinals, that was not vintage Arsenal, wasn't it? I mean, it was a struggle for them against Sporting Lisbon. This was in April, where Arsenal had 1 win out of 6 in all competitions. It was 1-0 in Lisbon, where Kai Havertz scored in the very last minute, and then a 0-0 draw at the Emirates Stadium, just about enough. And of course, Atletico Madrid, that was a tight, intense encounter themselves, wasn't it? Victor Gyökeres and Julian Alvarez both scoring pens in the first leg, and Bukayo Saka scoring the only goal at the Emirates Stadium, which means that Arsenal will play their first Champions League final since 2006. Paris Saint-Germain, on the other hand, they had a much tougher run. I mean, they had to go through Monaco in the playoffs. They finished, 11th in the group stages? It was really poor again, but it's a good omen from PSG's point of view, considering they played the playoffs last season as well. Against Monaco, it was hectic, wasn't it? They won the first leg 3-2. Doué scored a brace. Hakimi scored one. In the second leg, it was a 2-2 draw against Monaco, which meant that it was Chelsea in the round of 16. Chelsea were absolutely brilliant for 75 minutes, and then we chucked it away in that 15-minute spell in Paris. And from there, PSG in aggregate score put 8 past us, 3-0 at the bridge. Kvaratskhelia ripped us a new one, didn't he? He scored 2 at the Parc des Princes, 1 at Stamford Bridge. And then, of course, they went and played Liverpool in both legs. The first leg at Parc des Princes ended 2-0. It could have been a basketball score from a PSG point of view. They dominated them. Doué and Kvaratskhelia both scored. And then, of course, they went to Anfield where Dembele scored a brace. And then, of course, in the semi-finals, it was Bayern Munich where we saw one of the craziest first legs in Paris. It ended 5-4. It was absolutely wild in the way that it ended. PSG were 5-2 up, cruising. They were smashing Bayern all over the park. Bayern Munich pulled 2 goals back, which meant that the game at the Allianz Arena held a lot more weight. And then, of course, they got the job done courtesy of a draw, with Dembele scoring the lone goal in Allianz Arena, which means the final is now booked. Welcome to the stream, Shogun. Nice to see you here. Hello. It's a big game setting. It is massive. It's the Champions League final. Every club, every fan just wants to see their side in the final at least once in their lifetime, and maybe even go the extra step and get their hands on the trophy with the big ears. So all at stake here with Paris Saint-Germain taking on Arsenal. Kickoff in just over 30 minutes time, and the stage is set for a cracking final. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I want to see a great game of football. That's the first and foremost thing. Yes, nerves, butterflies, everything will be playing a part, but it's all about which team manages their nerves the best. PSG have been at this stage already, looking to go back-to-back. The first team to go back-to-back since Real Madrid under Zidane, where they three-peated the Champions League. PSG looking to add that extra bit of silverware under their Qatari ownership. And what a brilliant bit of recruitment they've been doing. They've moved away from their Galactico model. They've brought in young, hungry, talented players, and it has paid dividends. Look at that recruitment. It's almost hits. If you look at their starting 11, yes, Luis Campos has had a few failures in the transfer window, but no one really gets a 100% hit rate, do they, in the transfer windows? But their recruitment has been class. And if you look at the bench, someone like Mayulu coming on, who can be a really good player from the academy for PSG's point of view, he can really turn it on. He's got that clinical edge in him. And of course, Bradley Barcola, Gonzalo Ramos, Kang-in Lee as well, all there to make an impact off the bench for PSG. Well, kickoff 35 minutes away, and the stage is set. Well, Kvaratskhelia talked about how he came to life in the Champions League latter stages. 6 goals in the Champions League for the Georgian. His direct style running is a nightmare for any defender, man. I mean, Christian Mosquera will have to be at his bloody best, because he's not a genuine right back. The first time I did see Mosquera in the Premier League is at Anfield, where William Saliba came off in the 3rd or 4th minute with an injury, and then he just slotted in alongside Gabriel, and it was seamless. He looked excellent. But then, of course, when Saliba and Gabriel are both back in their full fitness, Christian Mosquera had to play the understudy role, which he has. But today, playing at right back will certainly make things very, very interesting. He'll keep making that overlap with Bukayo Saka on that outside. We saw Arsenal in the last few games preferring all the attacks on that right-hand side. Kai Havertz drifts in, Odegaard drifts in there, and so does Saka. So that right-hand side for Arsenal is certainly going to hold the key. And Willian Pacho and Nuno Mendes, both very quick, physical, excellent defenders, will have to be at the top of their game. Arsenal centrally, we saw that it was Zubimendi and Declan Rice throughout the Premier League campaign, but Zubimendi got dropped towards the back end of the season, and Lewis Kelly in midfield has been an inspired move, and I think he's going to play a massive part for Arsenal today, especially centrally. They need somebody to break their lines with the ability to drive with the ball and dribble and break that PSG press in that midfield area. Ruiz, Neves and Vitinha, my goodness me, they are 3 accomplished midfielders with legs, passing ability, the ability to control, dictate tempo. So Arsenal will have to do everything in their power to try and neutralize that PSG midfield. Well, just over half an hour remaining. Arsenal fans, talk to me. How are you feeling about the final here today? Arsenal defensively, they have been outstanding, and they're not just in the league, but in the Champions League as well, conceding what? They had 9 clean sheets in the Champions League. They've conceded what? 0.4 goals per game. Outstanding defensive work. While PSG have been relentless going forward and banging in those goals, they have been susceptible at the back. They do concede chances, and Arsenal might have a couple of glorious opportunities early on. It is critical that they are clinical. And speaking of clinical, Kai Havertz, if there's ever a time for Havertz to be at his clinical best, this would be it. Because if you're going to get maybe 1 or 2 chances in the final, you have to take it. Simple as that, especially when you're starting the game as the slight underdogs here. So Kai Havertz, all eyes will be on him. Trossard on that left-hand side is a bold pick from Mikel Arteta, considering he could have gone with the runner in Martinelli, who is their top scorer in the Champions League with 6 Champions League goals. He's dropped Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Noni Madueke, 3 of the players who have been on top of their goal-scoring charts in the Champions League. But he's gone with Kai Havertz, Trossard on the left, and Saka on the right instead. So you can understand from Mikel Arteta's point of view as to why he's made those moves. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it all comes together when the 90 minutes, when the first whistle goes. It's going to be very interesting to see how both sides go about their business and try and get the job done in Budapest. Whew, the heat is turned up. It is going to be exciting. So much fun, man. Like I said, as a neutral, I just want a great game of football. Yes, I mean, Arsenal fans will be saying, just give me the 1-0, put it in the bag, and let's go home and party all night long. The Arsenal fans will be pinching themselves tomorrow if they end up as European champions. 6 years without nothing, a trophy drought which lasted an eternity. 6 years for Mikel Arteta to bide his time, get his team perfect here, and he's finally got that done, and that league title would have just lifted the weight off their shoulders, and now they can play with a bit more freedom. Almost treat this as a free hit, but a Champions League final is never a free hit, man. You never know when you're going to get back into the final. Arsenal had heartbreak last season in the semi-finals against PSG. That was a very, very tight and intriguing game as well. PSG won 2-1 in the first leg. 2-1 in the first leg. It was Ruiz and Hakimi who scored with Bukayo Saka scoring for Arsenal. And in the second leg, PSG got the job done at the Emirates Stadium with a 1-0 victory, with Ousmane Dembele scoring for the Parisians. Well, Dembele, what a career arc he has had, man. I'm going to take you back to 2022, the World Cup final, right? He was hooked at halftime, and Kylian Mbappe scored a World Cup final hat-trick. And look at the trajectories since then. Mbappe and Dembele, they were going at this rate, right? Mbappe was just astronomical in terms of his stocks and where he was going, winning the World Cup at 18, then a final in 22, and now in 2026, trying to do it again. But Dembele, like I said, he was hooked in the Champions League final at halftime by Didier Deschamps, and look how his career has turned around. It's an inspiration, it's a lesson for everybody. Do not give up, believe in yourself, keep working hard, and the fruits of labor will come. As I mentioned before, both teams having a different path in terms of reaching the final. PSG's path, as difficult as it gets. I mean, that side of the group, the brackets were an absolute nightmare, man. So stressful. You felt like anybody could get there. Real Madrid was there, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, PSG, but in the other side of the group, you saw the weaker hitters. Barcelona had a possible opportunity to play that semi-final against Arsenal, but they couldn't get the job done against Atletico Madrid, which meant that the second semi-final was really a drab watch from both sides' point of view. It wasn't fun, but Arsenal just about got the job done with a solitary goal on aggregate, which means that Arsenal will have to be at their defensive best again here today. Well, Arsenal were first in the group stages. PSG were 11th, who had to go through the playoffs. Playoffs certainly makes things very interesting, doesn't it? You can very easily just lose but it gives you a second opportunity, doesn't it, through the playoffs where you can get the job done. Well, beating Monaco was not easy for the defending champions, but from there, they really did show their class. The Chelsea game could have been a real banana peel for them. but we absolutely handed it to them. It was 2-2 in the 75 minutes on the clock, and then Philip Jorgensen inexcusably gives the ball away from his own box, and from there Vitinha scoops and Kvaratskhelia scores 2 goals right towards the end. Second leg, Chelsea might have had an opportunity, but a huge mistake in the early stages by Mamadou Sarr, which meant that Kvaratskhelia could just roll it into the back of the net, and from there it was 2-2 easy for Paris Saint-Germain. Then got the job done against the defending Premier League champions in Liverpool, 2-0 at home and away. In the first leg, they were so wasteful, man, from PSG's point of view. That's something that they cannot afford to do, is be wasteful in front of this Arsenal defense, who don't concede much. So they have to be at their best. They have to be clinical. Both sides, that's the only message, really, as coaches. When you get the opportunity, make sure you stick it into the back of the net. All the tactics out the window. Get the ball, put the ball into the back of the net, and from there we'll see whatever happens here. 27 minutes away from the start of the Champions League final. I cannot wait. I just want the time to go by that quickly for the start of the final in Budapest. Well, once again, for those tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to the final watch along of the season. I've had so much fun, man. What a decision it has been. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for the first time, really. I thought maybe this season would be the season where I can just start as with the watch-alongs. It's been a brilliant decision. Absolutely brilliant. Watching it as a fan, watching Chelsea has been absolutely terrible. But even watching games as a neutral has been so much fun. It's added an extra layer. Helps me with my commentary as well. Being a professional commentator, doing games week in, week out, every day, the late nights. I don't really mind, considering I'm doing something I absolutely love. And I thank you all for tuning in at any point during the season. It's been a huge help. Thank you so much, guys. Getting a few messages from my Arsenal friends who are feeling the heat. Let's just put it that way. They are certainly stressed about the situation, but I completely agree, man. It's not every day that you get to see a side in the Champions League final, and to be here and get the job done will certainly be a very interesting task. Well, before the final, I was just about preparing my notes, getting ready and set the scene. And then, of course, we got the big news that Arne Slot has been sacked by Liverpool. The man who delivered title number 20 in the Premier League for Liverpool, getting sacked after that huge outlay of 400 plus million pounds in the summer, not getting a tune out of his side. So it was very interesting to see that Liverpool finally did pull the plug, and then bringing in Andoni Iraola from Bournemouth is certainly a different move. Again, they've gone from Klopp's heavy metal style to Arne Slot's more possession based, and now trying to replicate that heavy metal style again with Andoni Iraola. Iraola, once again, my goodness me, I'm not going to hate, man. Yes, he's the manager of Liverpool, but what a fantastic job the Spaniard has done, man. To see his squad being absolutely ripped. The back four of Kepa went, Zabarni went, Huijsen went, Kerkez went, and they all had to leave, and then he had to build an all-new defense with a new goalkeeper, and they managed to get Europa League qualification through their league position. Is absolutely brilliant from their point of view, man. So huge salute to Andoni Iraola, and good luck to him. Fair play to him. Yes, I'll be hoping for his downfall when the league starts, but I cannot hate at this moment here. Andoni Iraola could have very easily gone to a club like Crystal Palace or even Bayer Leverkusen. For him to get the Liverpool gig just showcases how highly he's rated. And it's the Spanish coaches, right? Their stocks going up and up. It's going to be an all-Spanish affair in terms of coaching in the final year today. Xabi Alonso is the new Chelsea manager, and now Liverpool getting a Spaniard of their own with Andoni Iraola. So that's for next season. But also the news of Ibrahima Konate possibly leaving in the summer on a free. That's a very interesting move, because Liverpool, they're going through a bit of a rebuild, right? Because Alisson, Van Dijk, this is possibly their last season this season. They've got a few issues all over the park. They're not very athletic as a team. Like I mentioned before, that's a big change in terms of the way that the team is going to be playing and how the coaches wants to do it, because Andoni Iraiola's side is full press, high press, relentless football. But Liverpool don't have that athleticism in their squad here. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see whether or not they're able to get the job done in terms of the recruitment, because as it stands, the team isn't constructed for Andoni Iraola, but that could change once the game starts. And about 20 minutes away to the start of kickoff. Well, let me know, guys. Let me know. What do you guys think? I need some predictions in the comments. I'm finding it very difficult to predict, but I've got this. I'm going to quickly go through both benches here. That is going to be certainly an interesting part as to it's going to play a huge part. Make no mistake about it, because yes, the sets of players will have gone through a huge amount of physical and mental exertion, and that's when the bench comes in and tries to make the difference. PSG's bench looks very strong. Yep, quick look at the bench. The benches, rather. The PSG have got Chevalier, Marie, Zabarni, Beraldo, Hernandez, Dro, Lee, Mayulu, Zaire Emery, Bacola, Ramos, and Mbaye as their bench options, while Arsenal, they've got Kepa Arrizabalaga, Urian Timber, Ricardo Calafiori, Martin Nogard, Christian Nogard rather, Eberiche Eze, Martin Zubamendi, Max Dauman, Mikel Merino, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Noni Madueke, and Victor Gyökeres all on the bench. So both benches really have enough in there to make a real dent and impact in terms of how they can impact the game off the bench. So both coaches will be a bit mindful as to what each other have in terms of options. So that's certainly going to be interesting to see how they do manage to combat. Well, I saw Zaire Emery play in midfield against Liverpool and Bayern Munich, wow, what a performance it was from him. He'll feel that it's a bit disappointing that he doesn't start here today, but it's almost like hierarchy in football, isn't it? You want to go with that same midfield that's brought you so much success. But Zaire Emery coming off the bench is going to be interesting. I want to see whether or not Ashraf Hakimi is able to continue at full clip at right back. There were a bit injury concerns about the Moroccan. And yes, if he comes off, it's a completely different proposition on that right-hand side, especially with Hakimi and Desiree Doué going gung-ho on that right-hand side. But if Zaire Emery is there, yes, it becomes a different proposition because Zaire Emery is very comfortable inverting from right back into midfield, add an extra body in there and allow Nuno Mendes to just clip on that left-hand side alongside Kviza Kvaratskhelia. We know about Kvaratskhelia, cut and shoot. He's direct, he's unbelievable, and he's come to life in the business end of the season in the Champions League. So Kvaratskhelia against Christian Mosquera is going to be a very, very interesting battle here. The midfield battle, I feel PSG are going to win that battle, right? Because they've got the more technicians there, the way that they can keep the ball progress, Vitinha's ability to receive it between the two centre halves and then dictate facing goal or even, on the turn is absolutely brilliant. João Neves is an absolute workhorse there. He's the all-action midfielder that every manager loves to have. And then, of course, Fabian Ruiz on that left-hand side lends a bit of class. His passing range and his ability to score goals on the edge of the box is going to be a huge, huge factor, that's for sure. So we're going to wait and see as to how that midfield does perform against an Arsenal midfield. The Arsenal midfield is a bit different in terms of the makeup. Yes, we expected Declan Rice and, of course, Martin Odegaard to start. Eberechi Eze has to drop down to the bench here because I don't see how Eze starts on the left. They need someone like Trossard who's got that clinical edge, that ruthless edge about him. Eze has had a few good moments for Arsenal, but maybe not enough to warrant a starting place in the Champions League final with Leandro Trossard getting the nod over the Englishman. So that is an interesting call, yes. But Lewis Kelly, again, I've mentioned this pre-match. I'm going to mention this again. He is going to be that key in terms of breaking the lines in midfield with his dribbling ability. They don't have anybody of that profile, so him in that midfield role is going to be massive. We saw Lewis Kelly, right, last season where he was playing left back and his stocks were raising. You thought that he's going to be starting for England at left back. Nico O'Reilly snatched his chain in that left back position, but the way that Lewis Kelly has just reinvented himself and then played in midfield over the last few games just shows you that Mikel Arteta did have a plan in place, and that plan is coming to fruition here. Starting in midfield against a PSG monster midfield is a game where Lewis Kelly, if he has a good game, his stocks will be through the roof for next season again. So rooting for Lewis Kelly. He's a young kid, of course. Brilliant performances last season. We saw him at the Bernabeu last season in the Champions League where he ran them ragged from left back. So he's got all the tools. He's been at the big stage, and there's an opportunity here to go one step further and become a Champions League winner with his boyhood club. So everything is there. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Minas. You are on fire. Well, I'm sure you're sweating. I'm sure you're going to be nervous. And I went through the starting 11 for both teams. No real surprises from both sides. PSG going as strong as they possibly can. All their starters are fit and ready. Their bench is strong. Arsenal, again, I didn't see any surprises in their lineup. Yes, Christian Mosquera had to play at right back here because Jurrien Timber is just about fit enough to be on the bench with Ben White out for quite a bit of time. So that's going to be the key battle there, Aman. Right back of Mosquera up against that electric winger in Kviza Kvaratskhelia. So it's going to be very stressful from Mosquera. He needs to have a perfect game really at right back. He's still going to make those runs forward to try and supplement the attack, maybe even act as a foil, because we saw Arsenal how they like to just channel all their attacks on that right-hand side. So you can understand that possibility here. Kai over Gyökeres, no surprise again. We know how much Mikel Arteta absolutely loves Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz started at the Etihad Stadium where you needed a victory or even to avoid defeat. Yes, Havertz missed those two glorious opportunities. Did come up clutch against Burnley though. And of course, Kai Havertz did score in the Champions League final in 2021 for Chelsea against Manchester City in Porto. So a bit of history there for Kai Havertz. And with Kai Havertz, the ball sticks a lot better. So if PSG are going to be playing the dominant brand of possession football, Arsenal will have to go along, and Kai Havertz makes the ball stick a whole lot better. Zubimendi benched, yes, that's, again, would have been a big call. But if you've seen the last 3 or 4 weeks, Lewis Kelly, well, Zubimendi really, him and Declan Rice both started, 33, 34 Premier League games together. And then, of course, Zubimendi I think maybe struggled a bit physically because the amount of games that he had to play. And then Miles Lewis-Kelly just adds a different layer, a different, I would say, dynamic in terms of that midfield ability. His ability to dribble in the central areas is going to be a massive, massive point from Arsenal's point of view. Well, if you're Gyökeres, you can't help but feel ignored. I absolutely agree, Raman. Absolutely. 14 Premier League goals, 5 in the Champions League. And to miss out here for Kai Havertz is certainly a choice from Mikel Arteta's point of view. But we all knew that Victor Gyökeres was going to hold bench for Kai Havertz in the final. So no real surprises there. But yes, Victor Gyökeres will have to understand what the hierarchy, the food chain is all about, as Kai Havertz looks to be, what is that? I'm not sure how many players have scored in 2 Champions League finals. Havertz certainly is going to try and make his name in the history books if he manages to do so. It's certainly going to be interesting. Again, he's the one who makes the ball stick. He's the one who gets Arsenal playing a whole lot better in terms of football. Victor Gyökeres off the bench is a good option, especially if Arsenal are chasing the game or even having something to hold on to, because he can run the channels and just occupy the PSG centre halves a lot more. So it's a good option to have on the bench. But Kai Havertz starting, I'm not sure that it comes as too much surprise. Yep, Gyökeres, very good numbers for a first season. Like I said, 14 goals in the Premier League and 5 in the Champions League. That is a very good return from Victor Gyökeres' point of view. But in the big matches is where he has struggled here. And Kai Havertz is a big game player. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. But if things don't go according to plan, he can very easily use Victor Gyökeres as the starting centre forward for Kai Havertz and then try and attack the game here. 10 minutes to the start of the Champions League final. Boys, I'm ready. Are you? Come on, Aman. Time for a prediction. And don't give me a 1-0. No 1-0. No 1-0 for the Arsenal with a set piece. I've accepted that in the Premier League, but not in the Champions League final, man. The biggest showcase. This is where all the world's watching. All the eyeballs are here. For us to just have a drab 1-0 is not acceptable. So we better see some great footy. That's for sure. Yeah, I know this. I think this is the first time we're seeing a 9:30 kickoff India time. Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's a 3-4 to PSG. Wow, you've certainly changed your tune. I met you last night, and what do you say? 1-0 to the Arsenal, and now 4-3 to PSG. That'll be certainly interesting. Hey, what's up, Anu? Welcome to the stream, brother. Thank you so much for joining in. Come on, Anu, tell me, what's your prediction for the final? Is it going to be a 1-0 to the Arsenal? Or are we going to see something a bit more in terms of how the scoreline might turn out to be? You're praying for a 2-1 to the Arsenal. I'm sure that would be brilliant. I mean, Arsenal fans, 6 years you've had to wait, endure all that banter, all that heartbreak, all those seasons of coming that much closer to silverware. And now you have the opportunity to fill up your belly. First with the Premier League and now with the Champions League. So it's all to play for. 2-0 to the Arsenal. I like that confidence, Anu. That's the kind of confidence you want as a fan. That first goal is going to be so crucial. Oh my goodness me. I mean, we talk about it. It's a cliche, right? In the final, the first goal is always the one that pretty much sets the tone. But in this game, especially if Arsenal get that first goal, because of their defensive structure, their organization, their ability to just kill the game with their deep or mid block, PSG might struggle with that deep block here. PSG likes space. They've got runners on both sides. So if Arsenal can completely eliminate that, get that early goal, and then shut up shop, not even just shut up shop, but also have the threat on the counter-attack, they can be a dangerous proposition. They have to be clinical. Is that Killers who's playing? I don't have the sound on. Which band is playing the pre-match show here? I mean, I know we're going the American way in terms of... Yeah, it is the Killers. Are they playing Mr. Brightside? Certainly an interesting choice, but the Killers getting that Champions League final gig is certainly a big one there. I just know a few songs of theirs, but eccentric band. Got some catchy tunes. Yep, that is the Killers, isn't it? Yeah. You couldn't recognize... I recognize the drummer very well. Yep, the drummer is very much recognizable. The lead singer, it's like he's aging backwards. Good songs, right? Mr. Brightside, When You Were Young. Very groovy band. I like them. Okay, now, come on. Get the band out of here. It's time for football, man. It's time for the main event. Peak defense versus peak attack. Well, that's the thing, right? PSG, they've had no issues scoring goals, but they are susceptible. They've conceded 1.4 goals a game this season in the Champions League. Chelsea had a few great sighters against them. Liverpool had a few chances at Anfield against them. So they're not as rock solid at the back. But William Pacho and Marquinhos have the experience. William Pacho is absolutely brilliant, man. He is outstanding defensively. What is that? He went from Frankfurt to PSG again. We talked about like top recruitment. PSG have got that spot on from their point of view, man. Brilliant from them. William Pacho, he's going to be playing for Ecuador. Going to see how he gets on in the World Cup alongside Piero Hincapié and, of course, Moises Caicedo. I mean, it's a huge thing from Ecuador's point of view as well. They've got two representatives in the Champions League final, Piero Hincapié and William Pacho. So kudos to Ecuador, man. A small country in Latin America to have this kind of ability is absolutely brilliant. I'm waiting for Freed from Desire by the fans. Again, is that a song from the Killers? I'm not really sure. Well, the camera immediately pans to Lewis Kelly and Bukayo Saka as the players are getting ready for the start of the Champions League final in Budapest. Well, good luck to my Arsenal friends. Good luck, boys. It's been 20 years in the making to wait for a final. As I mentioned before, it does not happen in your first attempt in the Champions League. Chelsea had to go through a nightmare, a heartbreaking night in Moscow before we got that overjoyous night in Munich in 2012. Even PSG, man, they've had so much money spent. They finally found themselves in the final with Thomas Tuchel at the helm. He had Neymar, Mbappe, and still came up short at the Stadio de Luz in Lisbon. On that occasion, it was Bayern Munich with Kingsley Coman scoring the only goal. And yep, Arsenal, that 2006 heartbreak in Paris, still remaining fresh in their minds. If they're going to be an invincible run by Arsenal in this year, oh yeah, it is. They have not lost a single game. They've conceded very little. Oh, TT is in the crowd as well. Thierry Henry, Arsenal legend. Can only admire TT, man. TT will be feeling his heart beating out of his chest. He's been urging his side to get over the line. That's all he's been talking about in the last couple of seasons. He's not fell for the PR and process bullshit. He wants trophies. He knows the importance of getting over the line and what it does to a club. And for Arsenal fans, man, look, this season could be the jump start for you guys. Look at the Premier League season next. Look at the Premier League teams next season. Look at the managers that are coming in. A lot of newbies, a lot of managers making the jump. Maresca, Xabi Alonso, Andoni Iraola now, Michael Carrick for Manchester United. Arsenal can really go out there and build a dynasty if they get their recruitment right in the summer as well. Yes, whatever happens, Champions League final, win or loss, it cannot cover your eyes from this fact that you have to get the summer right. You have to be ruthless. And if you stand still, other teams might end up overtaking you. So Arsenal, there's so much to do here, but all eyes will be on the 90 minutes here. 3 minutes to the start of kickoff here. The two skippers will lead their sides out in Budapest in the Puskás Arena. Odegaard and, of course, Marquinhos for Paris Saint-Germain. PSG looking to go back-to-back. Arsenal looking for their first ever Champions League crown. The stage is set. There's everything to play for. As the referee leads the two sides out there in the middle, it's the Champions League final time. Let's go, boys. Let us go. All right, before kickoff, I'm going to give you the Arsenal fans, the true Arsenal fans, a bit of trivia, right? In the 2006 final, 3 incidents happened. Somebody got a red card early on. Somebody got subbed. And Arsenal scored the first goal. I want to know who was that scorer for Arsenal. All 3 things. Do not Google. Come on. Don't Google and let me know. Come on. Just dip into your memory and let me know. 3 incidents in that 2006 final that went against Arsenal. An early red card. Somebody got subbed. and Arsenal scored the first goal in the final and ended up losing 2-1. Who scored that for Arsenal? So let me know. You got 2 minutes. Quickly go through the Rolodex in your mind and let me know what happened here. Hey, what's up, Kashish Pal? Welcome to the stream. Why Havertz? Havertz is a big game player. He allows Arsenal to hold possession high up the pitch and link play a whole lot better. Havertz has scored in the Champions League final as well for Chelsea in 2021 against Manchester City in Porto. So you can understand why Kai Havertz starts ahead of Victor Gyökeres. Despite Victor Gyökeres bagging the numbers, it's an opportunity for Kai Havertz to get Arsenal playing a whole lot more fluid football in the final third. Ooh, the stage is set. The PSG players look relaxed. The Arsenal fans, the Arsenal players look like they've got the eyes of the tiger here. It's going to be a hectic night. Have you seen Wenger? Wenger in the crowd. Couldn't get the job done himself, but he would be the biggest fan for Arsenal. That's for sure. Okay, Aman, that's right. The goalie got red. Give me names. I need names. The goalie got a red. Who got substituted for Arsenal? And who scored the goal for Arsenal? Come on, come on. I know these answers, by the way, at the top of my head. I remember watching that final. And I know why that sub was important as well, because should I give you the answers? I've given you enough time? Okay. So Jens Lehmann picks up the straight red card. Almunia comes on for Robert Pires, and Sol Campbell scored the goal for Arsenal in the first half. And of course, from there, Barcelona ended up scoring too. Samuel Eto'o and Giuliano Belletti scored for Barcelona on that occasion. And there you go, a bit of trivia before the final. Guys, it's time for the Champions League final. Let's effing go. Let's go, guys. Arsenal players, they can be immortalized here if they get the job done. The 2003-2004 invincible squad will have to take a back seat if Arsenal manage to win the league, which they've already done, and get that Champions League crown that has eluded them as an institution. But against the defending champions, if they get the job done here, well, it's time for the 2003 squad to take a back seat and the 2025-2026 squad to now be immortalized here. David Raya in goal, Hincapié, Gabriel, Saliba and Mosquera as the back five. Lewis Kelly and Rice in midfield with Leandro Trossard, Ødegaard and Bukayo Saka as the front three, providing the ammunition for Kai Havertz to lead the line. Kepa, Jesus, Eze, Martinelli, Timber, Gyökeres, Norgard, Madueke, Merino, Calafiori and Zubimendi all on the bench for the Arsenal. Kashish, you can't believe it, isn't it? You're watching a Champions League final with Arsenal and it's taken you just 20 years, only 20 years to reach the final again. As I mentioned before, it does not happen in the first attempt. You need to go through a bit of pain before you get that feeling of winning the Champions League. I've been fortunate enough to watch Chelsea win the Champions League twice, 2012 and 2021. 2 nights I'll never forget. And I hope for you guys, maybe it happens here. Well, PSG going with their strongest starting 11. Savinov in goal, Mendes and Hakimi as the two fullbacks. William Pacho and Marquinhos as the two centre-backs. Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz and João Neves as the three midfielders, with Dembele, Kvaratskhelia and Desiree Doué leading the line. Well, the players are set. Everything is done. It's time for the Champions League final. Good luck, boys. May the best team win here today. We are off and running. Well, Budapest is certainly a weird choice for the final. You see that, I think their last big game that they did host was the 2023 Europa League final between Sevilla and Roma. Sevilla won that on pens, but it certainly is a weird choice. I think even the timing is a weird one, isn't it? Yep, the camera angle is slightly wider here. Well, Luis Enrique, he won the treble for Barcelona in 2014-2015. Went through a lot of personal heartbreak, and for him to get this PSG job and take them to an elevated level certainly does show what a brilliant coach he is, man. Peter Drury in the com box as well. They've got the big man for the big occasion. Mikel Arteta taking charge of his first Champions League final. A free kick for Arsenal already. Set piece is going to be a huge part from Arsenal's point of view. PSG don't have too much height and physicality in their squad. Declan Rice immediately floats the ball into the box. Gets the first header there, but it should be comfortable for Savinov. We're going to see a lot of this from Arsenal. Set pieces is where they're going to have to try and pounce on PSG. Try and put them as much as pressure as possible. Christian Mosquera needs to have the game of his life here today up against Kvica Kvaratskhelia. No Ben White and Jurrien Timber only fit enough to be on the bench. Certainly going to be very, very interesting to see. Again, the first 5 minutes, I expect both sides to not really lay too much of a glove on each other. Luis Enrique will be urging his side to have a fast start here. Mikel Arteta already involved on the sidelines. Kai Havertz, decent link up there, but can't find Martin Odegaard. Well, Vitinha, he's a cheat code in build-up for PSG, man. The way he can just drop in between the two centre-halves. Against Inter Milan, they absolutely ripped them to shreds. They could not handle Vitinha. He ran the game, ran the show. Desiree Doué scored a brace. PSG 5-0 against Inter Milan. Certainly did catch everybody by surprise as Nuno Mendes from left back trying to invert forward. Here's Joao Neves. The 2.5 minutes has just flown by already. Flown by. Again, Vitinha again. So many touches on the ball. He's going to be the one that Arsenal will have to make sure that he doesn't get going. Kai Havertz will have to put a pressing job on him. Not allow him to just run the show. Good pass onto the right-hand side. Again, we'll have to watch and see whether or not Hakimi is fit enough to play the 90 minutes or even more. But if Hakimi cannot continue, Zaire Emery from right back can easily invert into midfield. Esquara playing centre forward and Dembele on the left wing. It's going to be interchanging, man. Dembele is going to have the freedom of the park. He can operate wherever he wants. And it does look like Kvaratskhelia might start off as a centre forward, but I'm fully expecting Kvaratskhelia to hold the width on that left-hand side, especially against Christian Mosquera, who's not naturally a right back. So that's going to be the battle where PSG might just come out on top. It's PSG now holding possession. As expected, Arsenal will have to be patient. Decent ball forward. Saliba defending very high up the pitch on that occasion. Saka being shut down immediately by Nuno Mendes. Throw in for Paris Saint-Germain. As I mentioned before, the early stages is just going to be about keeping your shape, making sure you don't make mistakes. Concede that early goal and you can feel the momentum completely shift. Yeah, Aman, let me know if you're finding any issues with the stream. Yeah, if there's any lag or something else, just keep me posted. Seems okay from my end so far, but just in case, let me know. Fabian Ruiz with the foul. Ruiz has to be careful. He just chucks the ball away. Last thing you want to do is pick up a needless booking in a Champions League final. Yep, Fabian Ruiz with a clear push at the back of Bukayo Saka. Saka scored in the semi-finals against Paris Saint-Germain last season. And of course, scored this season against Atletico Madrid at the Emirates Stadium as well, where one goal was enough to separate the two sides. Declan Rice just boots it forward. Havertz brings it down beautifully. That's why Havertz is in the team. His ability to just link up the play. Oh, Havertz is through here on the right-hand side. He can really run at the PSG defense here. It's Kai Havertz who delays. Kai Havertz, who he goes for the top corner and he buries it. Arsenal have the lead in Hungary. It's Kai Havertz who scores in the Champions League final again. 5 minutes on the clock. Arsenal have the lead. Can you believe it? What a strike from the German. Is this the night, Arsenal fans? Is this the night where it's going to happen for you guys? Kai Havertz buries it into the top corner. He did it in Porto against Manchester City. He does it against PSG here today. Absolutely incredible scenes. PSG shell-shocked. Well, Kai Havertz didn't have any support, but he had to go by himself. It's taken a bit of a lucky deflection to fall into his path, but here it looks like, yep, he's going to be caught here. Oh, what a finish that is. Savinov beaten at his near post. He's got no chance to stop that. It comes off the arm of Trossard, but his arm is tucked to his body. I'm not sure whether or not they'll rule that off, but Savinov ultimately powerless to stop it. Havertz scores an Arsenal lead in the Champions League final. Wow, what a start. And now this will wake PSG up here. Well, the goal stands. Again, it came off Trossard's arm, but it was tucked to his body. And now PSG have to go again. This is the perfect scenario from Arsenal's point of view, man. They get the early goal. Now PSG have to come out and play. Havertz has scored in 2 Champions League finals. That is some CV to have. 3 goals before the final, now scoring in the biggest game. He's the one who scored against Burnley in the Premier League. And now, with a cracking finish into the roof of the net, he has given Arsenal the lead. Brilliant goal, man. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, you should have booked the ticket to Budapest. You should have done it. Well, now PSG have had their cages rattled. Absolutely rattled. Free kick here for Paris Saint-Germain. Just outside the box. They'll be looking for that quick response. Not sure where the foul was. It was Lewis Kelly. Oh yeah, it was Declan Rice. Rice did end up catching. Oh, it's not a foul. Lewis Kelly was fouled in the end. 8 minutes on the clock. It's going to be a long 82 minutes, isn't it? Now that you guys have something to hold on to. PSG on the right-hand side looking for a swift response here. Here's Desiree Doué. He's got his chief attackers in company. Cross comes into the box. Well defended by William Saliba. This is something that Arsenal can do all night long. If they have to defend deep, they can do it with ease. As Ashraf Hakimi turns on the afterburners, defends the space well, finding Marquinhos. Kashish, it's going to happen, isn't it? I told you yesterday. I have that feeling. I have that sneaky feeling. I could feel it in my gut that Arsenal are going to win the Champions League. And you're just about 82 minutes away from that to happen. Here's Dembele now. Saka helps out defensively. Arsenal are very... Oh, that's not a foul, ref. That is not a foul on Dembele. Bukayo Saka cannot believe it. I agree with him. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, Chelsea have had the privilege and luxury of being the only London side to have a Champions League crown to their name. Looks like this might be the day where Arsenal... I mean, London is going to be absolutely wild if Arsenal end up winning the Champions League. It is going to be crazy. Vitinha does well. Arsenal are very much up for it. They have shut down shop nicely in midfield. That might be a foul there, or I think Kai Havertz was offside. Well, Mikel Arteta's decision to start Kai Havertz paying dividends. It's too early to park the bus, Aman. Too early. Still have to go out there. We know that PSG have a goal in them. But with 10 minutes on the clock, Arsenal, dreamland scenario, Kai Havertz scoring the goal after he roofed it past Savinov. Arsenal have something to hold on to. Kashish, calm. Calm down. There's still a lot of football to go. You're playing against the defending champions. They have something in store for you guys, that's for sure. Arsenal will have to be at their defensive best. They've conceded 0.4 goals a game in the Champions League so far. It's a brilliant defensive record. Everybody struggled to score against Arsenal. Is PSG going to be the latest victims? Never, Aman. Never. I cannot be caught in that jersey ever in my life. Yes, Desiree Doué. Oh, nearly slips it through. Arsenal again combining forward. Kvaratskhelia. Oh, magnificent challenge. Gabriel on the slide. He had no business getting there first. He had to hook that from an uncomfortable position. Outstanding defending there by the Brazilian. Welcome to the stream, Mayur. You've been woken up rudely. Arsenal have the lead here. They're in dreamland, man. Brilliant goal by Kai Havertz. You guys need to park a lot more than the I-20. Oh, Arsenal fans. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Well, PSG have to shake off the cobwebs. Arsenal have shut them down very well in the opening stages here. David Raya had nothing to do so far. Arsenal need the second though. Arsenal do need a second at some point. Here's Kai Havertz causing a nightmare there for Marquinhos. PSG again trying to resettle here, reorganize. Luis Enrique will be demanding a whole lot more from his side. Here's Nuno Mendes. Finds Vitinha. Again, it's Vitinha who drops in between the two centre halves. Now João Neves. 12 minutes on the clock. Kai Havertz's goal. The last time he scored in the Champions League final, Chelsea ended up winning the trophy with the big ears in Porto. That ended up 1-0. What a pass that is onto the left-hand side. Fabian Ruiz there. Oh, Fabian Ruiz went for goal from a tight angle. Out for a goal kick, but another warning shot fired at the Arsenal goal. Decent strike there by Fabian Ruiz, but Fabian Ruiz is the one who's breaking his neck to get inside the box. Luis Enrique would have felt that his sides are favourites heading into this. Again, I just felt that once Arsenal won the Premier League, that pressure would be lifted completely off their shoulders. They can play their game with a lot more conviction and a little less pressure. But in the Champions League final, it's impossible to avoid pressure, man. It's the team that deals with it the best that are going to come out on top. As Nuno Mendes might have been fouled there. Arsenal not getting the calls here early on. Haven't yet to see too much of Kvaratskhelia or Dembele so far. Arsenal doing a fantastic job keeping the front three in check. Here's Vitinha once again. He's the orchestrator for PSG in midfield. Yet to see too much of Trossard or Saka. Again, that midfield, Declan Rice needs to have a brilliant game, boys. He needs to have one of those games where he just plays like the man mountain that he is. Talked about the Premier League Player of the Year. They gave it to Bruno Fernandes, which I'll never understand. It should have been Declan Rice, man. In my eyes, he's the driving force for you guys to win the league. Anyways, I don't think Rice would care. He's got the more important medal around his neck and he can possibly add another here. Bit of confusion there in the middle. PSG win it in midfield. Again, Arsenal just have to be careful here. Few fouls now starting to creep in. Last thing they'll want is to have that early yellow card, especially with Lewis Kelly. Here's Fabian Ruiz. Punches the pass to Nuno Mendes on the left-hand side. Now Kvaratskhelia. Back to Vitinha. Again, Arsenal's mid-block is just rock solid. It is watertight. You cannot see the gaps. That's where PSG will have to use their dribbling abilities, that quick 1-2 around the corner to try and open up the Arsenal defense. They've locked shit down. Doesn't look like PSG have anywhere to go. Here's Ousmane Dembele. Finding Ruiz. PSG might need to find shots from outside the box. Ruiz with the big switch out onto the right-hand side, finding Achraf Hakimi. Here's the skipper, Marquinhos. Clever pass there to Hakimi, who continues his run. Goes for the cutback. It's a corner for Paris Saint-Germain. Decent response from the defending champions. Hoping for a Saka goal tonight. If Saka scores, oh my goodness me. Free beers, free meals, free everything in North London for the rest of his life. Corner for PSG. Terrible corner. Oh, Saka's clearance comes off his arm. But inadvertently, We saw the hands coming in play for the Arsenal goal. That was inadvertent as well. Has to be careful. It was a slice clearance, but nobody around him. Here's Fabian Ruiz now. Again through the central areas. He's been nicked off here. And now Martin Odegaard can lead the Arsenal attack here. It's Odegaard with a clip pass. Overhit there. Trossard was hoping that the ball was into his path. Let's have a look at this Saka incident again. Nobody near him. Does come off his arm. I mean, can we call that a pen? It's inadvertent. There's no PSG players near him. It was a slice clearance, but got to be careful. Got to be very, very careful. So far, it's been all PSG. Possession, passes, everything for the defending champions. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Vyas. Hello, sir, and congratulations for the Barclays gig. Shout out to you. Here's Marquinhos. Finding Vitinha. Yashi, unfortunately, Kashishpal is going to be insufferable for the next year or two easily. Might have to block him. Might have to do so. Here's Kvaratskhelia. Finding Fabian Ruiz. Again, still remains patient here is Paris Saint-Germain. Now Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia is just floating around, not holding the width on the left-hand side, playing a lot more centrally. Now Kvaratskhelia on the right-hand side. Oh, he goes for the back heel there. Hincapié mops up. And now Trossard can just manage to clear, but not too far. Arsenal have to be careful. They give the ball away. Arsenal have not kept the ball well enough in midfield. Here's Fabian Ruiz. Well, Arsenal did take the lead in the Champions League final in Paris in 2005-2006. Sol Campbell scored on that occasion. That was on the stroke of half-time, if my memory serves me right. This goal coming very, very early as Saka pinches the ball. Finding Christian Mosquera. Mosquera goes back to Declan Rice. You've blocked him already. What was the benefit of losing 2-0 to Bogota? No benefit. We're going to struggle here. Struggle. I'm going to block Kashishpal for a good year. Premier League crown was insufferable enough, but if they win the Champions League, oh my goodness me. Saka tries to win the header. Arsenal all the way. Great start here, boys. Great start. And David Raya has had no saves to make. So mid-block is working to perfection. Absolutely shut them down. PSG needing to find ways. They would have known that the Arsenal deep block, or the mid-block rather, would be something that they would have to encounter in this match. Seems that they've not figured out the Arsenal puzzle yet. Into the 20th minute. That Kai Havertz early goal. The difference between the two sides. Can't imagine being an Arsenal player right now. How the hell are you supposed to focus when you're dreaming in broad daylight? Job's not done, boys. Job is not done. There's still a lot of football to be played against an electrifying PSG side. But that's the thing, right? When Arsenal do have an opportunity to try and break forward, that might be the chance for PSG to try and exploit some of the spaces, which is not there right now. But if Arsenal do commit players forward, that space might open up here. But into the 20th minute, you've seen nothing really of the electrifying front three of the PSG front line. The twinkle in their eye must be blinding. They are close to history, my friend. They are so close. London is going to be red. I mean, London is going to be wild if this is the case. Here's Nuno Mendes. 20 minutes on the clock. PSG still looking for the response. Now Kvaratskhelia finding himself on the left-hand side. He's not yet taken on Mosquera. You can see Christian Mosquera is going to follow him everywhere he goes. Here's Ousmane Dembele dropping painfully deep. This is exactly what Arsenal want to see here. Dembele dropping deep. Not occupying the two centre-halves. Marquinhos now forward. It's all PSG in terms of possession and passes. Desiree Doué. Marquinhos. Vitinha. Everybody getting involved. Vitinha overhits the pass. Comfortable for Arsenal. You're going to see this deep block from Arsenal. PSG don't have an answer yet. Havertz tries to make the ball stick. He does. And it's a throw-in for Arsenal. William Pacho following the German. That goal from Kai Havertz was absolutely brilliant, man. He had no support, tight angle, and he just decides to roof it. Well, when Mikel Arteta spent 65 million quid and gave Kai Havertz nearly 300 grand a week, a lot of eyebrows were raised, especially when Mikel Arteta planned to use him as a midfielder, maybe. But then Kai Havertz, as a centre forward, had a couple of very good seasons, then had those big injuries. It felt like maybe physically he might just end up struggling, but continues to be a very valuable prospect. London will have red clouds, red rains, red shirts everywhere. Yep, it's going to be a party. I mean, I feel bad for the police officers in London, man. They're going to have a tough task of keeping order. And nearly the halfway point of the final, Arsenal having a comfortable game. Here's Lewis Kelly. PSG secure the ball in midfield. Here's Desiree Doué now. Scored a brace against Inter Milan. Oh, Saliba miscues. Dembele with a clever flick-on header for Kvaratskhelia. Here's Kvitsa Kvaratskhelia now. Bukayo Saka helping out defensively as well. Kvaratskhelia goes on the outside. Mosquera has shut him down brilliantly. Christian Mosquera has been fearless defending. He's backing his abilities, and he gets a throw in for the Gunners. Halfway point of the first half, things going exactly according to plan for Mikel Arteta's men. Get the early goal, shut things down. Bukayo Saka with a high fight to Mosquera. We're getting a water break here. What kind of woke shit is this? Is it that hot in Budapest? It might be. But Lucho Enrique getting a quick chat here with his players. He'll want the ball to be moved a whole lot quicker, that's for sure, especially in the central areas, and try and create that overload on the far side. We've yet to see Nuno Mendes on that left-hand side or Ashraf Hakimi. So I'm sure that Lucho Enrique will be telling his fullbacks especially, try and get forward here, because Arsenal don't really have the ball so far. They're looking to play on the counter-attack. They'll have to be a whole lot braver. And as it stands, Kai Havertz, 2 Champions League final goals, might end up with 2 Champions League crowns. It was fortuitous in the way that it broke to Kai Havertz, but he had so much to do from there. He looked for options. He kept surveying. Didn't see the option was there. Whew! That finish is absolutely bonkers, man. So pure. Well, the game plan will remain the same for Arsenal. Nothing changes. Nothing changes at all. Luis Enrique wants a bit more from his players. Asir Khalifi watching alongside Luis Campos. Nervously, I might add. Mosquera will take the throw in. Players have to go back into positions, get switched on again. If you told any Arsenal fan that 25 minutes on the clock, PSG are not going to have a decent shot on goal, they would say, yep, where do I sign up for that? Add to that Arsenal will take the lead, they would snap your arm off. This is the perfect situation. PSG having to go against the best defense in Europe. They're finding it difficult. Here's Saliba. Lewis Kelly between the 2 centre-halves, driving in the central areas. Brilliant carry this from Miles Lewis Kelly. Outstanding dribbling from him. Now Odegaard finding Bukayo Saka. He's up against Nuno Mendes. It's Bukayo Saka. Goes on the outside. Cross comes into the box. Oh, massive opportunity. PSG clear. Well, the ball could have broken kindly. Safanov takes a whack to the side of his head. Brilliant from Miles Lewis Kelly, man. He was the key. I told you guys pre-match, his ability to drive through the central areas is going to play a huge part. Saka just puts in a devilish ball in. Safanov clears, takes a whack to the side of his head. And the fact that it doesn't land kindly there. That is absolutely true. We love Kai, but clearly has got more backing than any manager would. I swear. I mean, the same could be said about Arteta as well, right? Any other club, considering his difficult scenario situations that he found themselves in, could have been sacked. I think we are seeing the fruits of patience on display here from Mikel Arteta and Kai Havertz's point of view. Well, Kashish, he was thinking about making that trip to Europe. Book your flights to London if this is the case. Savinov will not want to be coming off here. It's the Champions League final, but has to make sure that all the concussion protocols have been manned here. It's a good ball there by Bukayo Saka. His ability to just shift and deliver the ball into the box. Very, very dangerous there from the Arsenal man. Good ball in. Trossard did make that run from out to in. It was Marquinhos who caught Savinov and not Trossard, so it's almost like Savinov was happy to take that hit just to make sure that the attack was killed. This is going perfectly for you boys, man. Perfectly. I mean, you talk about any sort of banana skins, any sort of slip-ups. Where's that going to be? Look at Arsene Wenger, man. He's on the edge of his seat. He is not reclining. He's not sitting back. He is nervous. Rafa Benitez, Roberto Martinez, all in the house. Of course, Luis Figo next to the Professor. Luis Enrique will not be happy with the start here. He has not seen enough from his side. Yeah, that's the thing, Aman. Exactly. He's progressed, and there's no doubt about it. But when you guys missed out on Champions League on that occasion, it was when Antonio Conte was the Spurs manager, right? You guys finished 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So, like I said, any other club could have very easily pulled the trigger. Same with Kai Havertz. You can easily pull the trigger on some players, or some managers as well. But Arsenal clearly getting that fruits of the patience on display here. How does he progress from here if he wins the PL and CL? He'll have to do it again. That's the demands at the top end. Once you reach the top, the most difficult thing is to stay on top. And you're going to have a target on your back every time you're on the pitch, both domestically and in Europe. PSG look a bit rattled here. The opening half an hour not going according to plan whatsoever. They're finding it very difficult. David Raya could very easily just pull up a chair. No, I'm not calling him that. I gave him the respect, Le Professeur. Can't do more than that. Here's William Pacho now into the 30th minute. Come on, PSG. Start playing some football. They've kept the ball, but they've done absolutely nothing with it. Look at Mosquera. He's on Kvaratskhelia like a rash. Good play there by Nuno Mendes. Shifts it onto the right-hand side. Here's Ousmane Dembele. He's got the overlap. Dembele with a shimmy into the box. Again, poor bit of play there from the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. Dembele again. Arsenal now in their deep block here. Try and get through them. We talked about shots from outside the box for PSG. They might need it here. Kvaratskhelia is begging for the ball. He's completely unmarked. Cross comes in. This is meat and drink for the Arsenal defense. Crosses into the box when PSG have no aerial presence. I'm not sure what the tactic is here. Here's Kvaratskhelia. Dembele is on the ground here. He looks in considerable amount of pain. PSG are continuing play on here. Might look to roll the ball out here, but they're continuing here on the right-hand side. Maybe going for the cross into the box. Again, patient. He's still on the deck. It's Nuno Mendes and not Ousmane Dembele. And now Dembele with the ball in. They've kept it alive here. There's a big, big opportunity. Oh, great challenge. World-class tackle there. And now we might see the ball booted out of play. Nuno Mendes has been on the deck for an age here. Especially when PSG with the attack. He's clearly in pain. Now they hit it out of play. I mean, they waited a long, long time before they hit that out of play. I mean, Mendes in that PSG attack was almost a hindrance to his own side. Let's have a look here. Oh, I think it is just accidental by Gabriel. Let's have a look into it's all in the eyes. Is he facing him? Is he having a look at that Achilles and having a step on it? It looked accidental at first watch. Mikhail be like, first time was so nice, I had to do it twice. Well, that's the thing, right? 6 years, empty-handed, and to get all the riches in one season just feels typical, doesn't it? Oh my goodness me, I'm going to have to deactivate my Twitter account as well, block a few of my friends. Only one friend, though he knows who he is. Here's Ruiz. Desiree Doué. Mendes looks okay to continue, and he plays the channel pass. David Raya comes a long way out and makes the clearance. Raya has to keep his concentration levels. Make sure that he doesn't do anything foolish. No rush of blood to the head. He's been barely involved. Here's Mendes. Finds Vitinha. Kvaratskhelia. Vitinha again. Look at the Arsenal mid-block, man. There is no way out for PSG. It's like caged football. Here's Dembele. Vitinha now. Shifts it to Nuno Mendes. PSG are not moving the ball quick enough though, but there's just no space. Where did they pass to? The central areas crowded. They have to try and create overloads on the wide areas here. Declan Rice just manning the pitch in the central positions as Dembele on the right hand. It's going to be interesting. PSG need to try and play outside the box. They'll have to try something different here. Their simple passing is food and drink for Arsenal, man. They're not going to be having any sort of issues, especially if you're just going to decide to put crosses into the box. PSG are going to make light work. I mean, Arsenal defenders are going to make light work out of it. They've had to deal with so much more from their points of view, man. This has been the perfect display from Arsenal's point. Perfect. Again, shots from outside the box. They have to try it here because they're trying these pretty patterns, trying to play the 1-2s. It's not going to work, man. They'll have to create overloads. They're going to have to try and find shots here because this is light work for Arsenal in the Champions League final. They've had enough practice in the Premier League itself doing this, and they're doing it against one of the best attacks in Europe, and they're completely frustrating PSG here. Lucho Enrique will have to try and find something out of here because Arsenal, again, they're going to rely on moments. A few moments here and there is more than enough from their point of view. They've got the early goal. They have PSG exactly where they want them to be. So it's all about trying to keep that frustration going. From their points of view. Is the audio gone? I'm checking from my point of view. It seems okay, Yashi. Just give me a thumbs up.
Shots from outside.
It's fine. With 35 minutes on the clock, still nothing's changed. Saka's got a lot of space on the right-hand side. He's been needlessly pushed by Nuno Mendes. That is a terrible foul for Nuno Mendes to concede there. Again, track the run of Saka instead of making the challenge. Thank you so much, Yashi. But to give Arsenal a set piece from this situation is so poor, man. Nuno Mendes, that is very poor. YouTube pissing on me with audio glitches. Even YouTube don't want this to happen. No, it must be the YouTube issue, Yashi. All good. Please let me know if you do have these issues, yeah? Just let me know so that I can find ways. Yeah, under 10 minutes to go. I mean, seeing the sun out in the Champions League final just feels a bit wrong, doesn't it? Thanks a lot, boys. Thanks for the update. It's a free kick for Arsenal in the half space as Declan Rice whips it in. Oh, he goes for the towering leap there. Gabriel attacks that with so much force. Clatters into Fabian Ruiz. Free kick for PSG, but this first half has gone all according to plan, hasn't it, boys? It's been easy stuff. Been a bit disappointed with PSG too. They've not played with the composure. They're clearly frustrated. Oh, they've lost the ball here. The space has opened up in midfield. Now Vitinha can drive. He's got options left and right. Declan Rice eating up grass to come back into position. It's Ousmane Dembele with the strike. Well blocked. Headed away by Saliba. Clattered by Leandro Trossard. Kai Havertz. Again, he's a menace there. Odegaard holds on to the ball. It's almost like we haven't taken the name of the Arsenal attackers once since that Kai Havertz goal. And now on the right-hand side is Desiree Doué. Shrugs off a couple of challenges. And Arsenal have enough players back helping out defensively. If this is the best that PSG have to throw it for Arsenal, this is going to be Arsenal's trophy, man. A vintage performance. Everybody's found it difficult to score against the Gunners. Look at this run by the Frenchman Saliba. Brilliant carry from him. Finds Havertz now. Havertz secures the ball to Piero Hincapié on the left-hand side. Now to Trossard. A second goal for Arsenal and it's game over. That's how good Arsenal look defensively. Lewis Kelly in midfield. Driving well. Strong. Lewis Kelly's inclusion. Perfect. Perfect. To have Zubimendi in this game would have been overkill, really. Considering Arsenal are not going to really have too much of the ball, but to have that different profile in midfield like Lewis Kelly is the game changer. That was a strike from Dembele. Brilliant block there by Gabriel Magalhaes. 7 minutes plus added on time for Arsenal to have the perfect first half in Budapest here. And all the top clubs have those special nights in these European countries. Chelsea have had one in Munich and one in Porto. Man City have had one in Istanbul. Liverpool have had one in Istanbul as well. Is Budapest going to be synonymous with the Gunners now? Here's Vitinha. Again, it's patient from PSG. William Pacho, all the PSG players in the Arsenal half. Again, Kvaratskhelia has been ignored throughout the match here. I mean, he's holding acres of space on the left, completely ignored. Instead, PSG attack down the right-hand side with Achraf Hakimi. Hakimi goes on the byline here. Decent ball in. Mosquera's clearance is not too far away. And now Kvaratskhelia finds Nuno Mendes. Mendes with the cross comes in. Easy for... Again, why are they crossing the ball into the box? They're going to get no joy. Absolutely none. Oh, Hakimi puts his arm around Kai Havertz. Havertz immediately goes to ground. Is Hakimi going to pick up a yellow card here? Kai Havertz with a bit of shithousery there. Hakimi needs to be careful. Well, he does get caught on the throat. Needless there from Hakimi, but clearly frustrated. That's a forearm to the throat, man. That's a bit dangerous. Hakimi needs to be careful. Yeah, no force, but needs to be careful. Approaching the final 5 minutes. PSG lackluster. Arsenal rock solid. They have shut it down. They've been brilliant. 5 minutes plus added on time remaining at the Puskás Arena in the first half. The ref keeping the yellows in the pocket. Yep. Hope he does the same for Arsenal. I'm sure Arsenal are going to have some crunching challenges in the second half. But the fact that nobody's been booked in the first 45 minutes just shows you that the ref is letting the football do the talking here. Here's Vitinha. Again, the PSG forwards so static. Nobody really making runs in behind. Here's Ruiz now. It's a suicidal pass that João Neves does very well to try and break down. Now Fabian Ruiz. Nuno Mendes. Decent ball in, but Gabriel in position. Dembele on the right-hand side. Again, PSG so shoddy in the final third, man. So shoddy. Martin Odegaard goes down under no pressure. PSG have had all the possession, but they've not really made it count. Now on the right-hand side. João Neves. Kvaratskhelia is just shifting flanks because he's getting no action on that left-hand side. Fair play to Christian Mosquera, man. The way that he's pocketed the Georgian. Felt that might be Arsenal's weak point, but no issues whatsoever defensively. Again, saw Christian Mosquera at Anfield, where that was his first game. What a shrewd bit of business that was from Arsenal's point of view. What is that? £10 million from Valencia? Outstanding. Here's Neves. Finds William Pacho. If PSG can pull a goal back, we might have a second half. But if this stays 1-0 to Arsenal, put the name on the trophy. Here's Nuno Mendes. Arsenal can do this all night long. Here's Marquinhos onto the right-hand side. It's going to be nervous, though, for Arsenal to keep that deep defense going. Vitinha. Kvaratskhelia in a central position. Does he look to pull the trigger? He thought about it. Decided against it. Again, surprising. Nuno Mendes on the left-hand side. Stop and start. Great play there from Nuno Mendes. Going for the cutback here. It's a massive opportunity. The header's over. Ooh, that was a chance. That was the chance for PSG. Fabian Ruiz with the header. Well off target in the end. But again, much better wing play this from Nuno Mendes. A bit of start and stop. And then just burst past Mosquera. And from there, they're in business. Puts it into the danger area. And if Ruiz can get that header on target, it's possibly 1-1. Nketiah's clearance just anywhere. Kvaratskhelia wanted to pull the trigger, but PSG fans, with a puff of exhale, exasperation, frustration, everything on display here. 2 minutes plus added on time here for a dreamland of a first half for the Gunners. Kai Havertz trying to make himself a nuisance. Marquinhos clears. In both sets of both teams do have options on the bench. Again, PSG are pretty much, even Arsenal to some extent, PSG are playing with their best team here, best 11 out there. And for maybe someone like Zaire Emery might come on in midfield. For someone like Hakimi, again, I'm clutching at straws as to who's going to be subbed really. Bradley Barcola is the attacking option that I'm expecting to see on the pitch. Oh, again, very, very poor defending there from that occasion. PSG do manage to get the ball. Now Desiree Doué. Decent carry there outside of the boot. Pass to Kviza Kvaratskhelia. A bit of space opening up here for Paris now. A minute remaining of first half action. Here's Kvaratskhelia. Keeps it short. Marquinhos onto the right-hand side. Is Ousmane Dembele. Fakes. Ousmane Dembele. That's a terrible shot. Well, Dembele has had a poor first half, and that pretty much encapsulates what we have seen from the Frenchman here in the first 45 minutes. Look at Thierry Henry. He is leaning on the fence. He'd still feel that heartbreak of Paris in 2006. He would have not forgotten about that. Those wounds take decades to heal. I mean, you ask John Terry about that slip in Moscow. It's something that will never leave him, right? Some things just stay with players for the rest of their lives. Thierry Henry can finally see those ghosts being exercised here if his beloved Arsenal can get the job done here. Again, good play there. Declan Rice, excellent stuff from him. We're approaching added on time here in the first half. We're all a wreck right now. Thierry looking stressed, isn't he? Super stressed. Why is the fourth official holding up a substitution board here? He should be added on time. It's 6 minutes. Exactly. Gerrard won't forget the slip either. There are a lot of scars. A lot of professional footballers are going to carry on for the rest of their lives, long past their playing careers. But we're going to see the same thing in the second half, aren't we? It's going to be PSG with all of the ball and Arsenal just thwarting every single attack. That Fabian Ruiz header was the only real opportunity, and it came from a melee in the box. Gerrard and Terry, brothers of the sliphood. Exactly. Two painful moments they'll never forget. Here's Kvaratskhelia now. 6 minutes of added on time. Kvaratskhelia. Again, he's not been as direct as we had hoped him to be, or expected him rather. Vitinha. Now Dembele. Dembele has been playing on that right-hand side half space a lot. Clip pass there. Good football this from PSG, but Arsenal shut it down again. PSG want the foul. They're never going to get it. Gabriel Magalhaes, he's just born for these moments, isn't he? Deep defending. Bodies on the line defending. That's what Arsenal have put all their faith into the Brazilian. Here's Vitinha now. 4.5 minutes of added on time remaining in the first half. This is going exactly to the Mikel Arteta game plan here. They've had very little of the ball. The one good opportunity that they've had, Kai Havertz buried it. Here's Desiree Doué now. Doué with the strike. And again, everything that we needed to know about PSG been found out here. Shots from outside the box. It's a hurried shot again from Desiree Doué on his weaker left foot. We talked about needing shots. Excellent from Piero Hincapié. Thought it was Gabriel, but it was the other left-footed defender. We fully expect Arsenal to trigger the buyout clause for Piero Hincapié in the summer. That's going to be about 50 million quid. Took him on loan. I don't know if that was an obligation to buy or an option to buy, but the way that he has been for Arsenal, there's no way in hell he's going to go back to Leverkusen. Not as a Premier League and a potential Champions League winner. Here's Kai Havertz. Speaking of Leverkusen, the boy who was the wonder kid at Leverkusen, as it stands, is the winner here. It's Kai Havertz. It's through again. It's Kai Havertz with the strike. It's a brilliant block. That was the opportunity for Arsenal to kill the match. Oh, beautiful football there. Havertz. A bit of hesitancy in him. And he can't find the back of the net. That was the moment, boys. That was the chance. If he finds the back of the net, it is over. Big opportunity that. 3 minutes remain of first half action. Here's Kvaratskhelia on the left-hand side now. Kviza Kvaratskhelia. He's had an anonymous first half. Mendes, Vitinha. Patience again. Dembele in the half space. Dembele pushes it nicely here. It's going to be a corner for Paris Saint-Germain. That was a chance, man. Kai Havertz. Again, he just waits to pull the trigger. Gonna have to wait and see the highlights before that because it's gonna be a PSG corner. It's not happened in open plays. Dembele delivers. He's gonna deliver. Referee making sure that David Raya and Fabian Ruiz, the two Spaniards, are observing discipline. Dembele with the corner. It's got whip on it, but it's a terrible corner. Easy for William Saliba. Here's Vitinha now. Arsenal have got everybody behind the ball. That's a clever pass. Fabian Ruiz on the left-hand side hammers it at goal. Oh, Raya with a bit of a spill, but comfortable gather in the end. Again, Fabian Ruiz is just trying to hit that with power, hoping for some sort of a spillage. It was a bit dicey there for Raya. Out of the breadbasket, but nobody really following up. But 90 seconds away from the perfect 45 minutes for Mikel Arteta's men. That's the first shot on target, really, hasn't it been? With Fabian Ruiz from a tight angle. Need to see that Kai Havertz chance again, boys. Could have taken it earlier, but decided to wait. Kvaratskhelia trying to get his header on it. Doesn't succeed. Now we can have a look at the chance. Kai Havertz had the opportunity for a brace here. This was beautiful football from Arsenal. First touch was slightly heavy, but the challenge was brilliant. Yep, he does nothing wrong there. He does everything right, but the Marquinhos block was excellent. The throw in for the Gunners. Mikel Arteta will be giving the biggest of hugs to these boys heading into the tunnel here for the first half. They've done everything according to the game plan. They've executed it to a T. And they're about 30 seconds away from the perfect first half. Again, a second goal for Arsenal. Finishes it off. Kai should have given it to Trossard. I'm not sure, man. When you're in that position, you have to shoot. Because if you don't shoot, the question will be like, why don't you shoot? Throw in for Arsenal. They're making a... Again, PSG do not have any sort of aerial presence about them. Havertz wins the corner for Arsenal. Again, these set pieces is going to be something for Arsenal to take advantage of. Waiting to see whether or not there was a foul on Kai Havertz. Did the last touch come off William Pacho? Yeah, Trossard probably was wide open. But again, when you're the striker, when you're in front of goal, to have a look that quickly It's very, very difficult, man. He did have time. He did have a bit of space. But again, as a striker, when you've already scored in the final, you've got to take a shot. And I completely understand it from that point of view. As a referee blows the halftime whistle, why did they not allow Arsenal to take the corner, man? What the hell? I mean, he certainly has to take the corner, but for some reason, he doesn't allow it to happen. But Arsenal can celebrate what has been a brilliant 45 minutes from them. They've completely locked up the defending European champions. It's been frustration for them, and it has been a hard work for them. Kai Havertz, as it stands, 6 minutes on the clock, giving Arsenal the lead. And from there, Arsenal had a couple of opportunities. Bukayo Saka put a ball across the face of goal. Kai Havertz got a shot that was blocked by Marquinhos. PSG, very disappointing in the attacking phase. Need to step it up. Luis Enrique is going to give them a rocket up their backsides in the halftime team talk. That's for sure, because that first half, from their point of view, unacceptable. But fair play to Arsenal. Perfect game plan, executed perfectly. Boys, I'm going to be back in less than 5 minutes time. Do keep the stream running. Do get involved in the chat. Arsenal boys, you're 45 minutes away. 45 minutes away from a league and Champions League double. Got nothing to say. You're no longer the banter club. You're the kings of Europe as it stands. PSG, what do you have in store for us in the second 45 minutes? We'll wait and see. Boys, I'll be back for the second half very shortly. Forget about second half. I'll be back in the 5 minutes very quickly, and we can discuss what we did see in the opening 45 minutes. From Arsenal's point of view, perfect game plan. Mid-block, when they've had to defend from a mid-block to a deep block, light work. PSG tried crosses into the box. No real presence there. The only chance that they did get is a ball into the box, which just created a bit of panic, which Fabian Ruiz headed well wide. But other than that, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Desiree Doué, not enough from the front three. The midfield has had so much of the ball, but not able to unlock the Arsenal midfield. Another perfect display from Arsenal's point of view. As it stands, Kai Havertz has scored in 2 Champions League finals, and that is elite. Lads, we're back. We are back. Arsenal are 45 minutes away from history. 45 minutes from a league and Champions League double. They've completely nullified Paris Saint-Germain in the opening 45 minutes. Luis Enrique will be fuming with what he's seen from his side. But Arsenal defensively have been perfect. But we need to see a bit more from Paris Saint-Germain's point of view. Halftime subs, I do expect someone like maybe Zaire Emery coming on for Fabian Ruiz, because Ruiz has looked slightly off the game here. But again, they need to bring on maybe a couple of players to change the dynamics here. Maybe even bring on someone like, maybe even take off a midfielder and bring on someone like Bradley Barcola in the final third, because Arsenal don't really have too much of the ball. They can cause problems on the counter-attack, but PSG will have to risk it in the second 45 minutes here. But the fact that Arsenal have kept PSG at arm's length for the opening 45 minutes is a massive, massive credit to the way that Mikel Arteta has set up his side and the way that his players have followed the game plan to the T. This has been brilliant from Arsenal. We expected PSG to be guns blazing, go out there and score goals. The side that have scored freely in the Champions League. But today, in the biggest stage, they have found it very, very difficult against a mean-spirited Arsenal defense. Kai Havertz, as it stands, has scored in 2 Champions League finals, one in Porto and now one in Budapest. Is he going to be the hero again? You might just happen to see. It might just end up happening here. This is perfect for Arsenal. From Arsenal's point of view, I don't really expect any changes here, but they can bring on the likes of Zubomendi to maybe keep the ball better in midfield. They have struggled. Yes, Arsenal did get the early goal, but from there, we saw a few moments from them. We did see a Kai Havertz shot that was blocked by Marquinhos, but other than that, it's been all PSG in terms of possession. They need to try and keep the ball better, but Lewis Kelly in midfield has added a bit of physicality, a bit that ability to drive from the central areas. So I'm expecting him to stay on the pitch for a bit more as well. Arsenal don't really have too much of the ball. Yeah, more of the same from Arsenal. I don't expect any real change tactically, even personnel-wise. Yeah, somebody would say maybe bring on someone like Eberechi Eze for Martin Odegaard, but Martin Odegaard is offering a lot in terms of the defensive work and his ability to cover the spaces and help out defensively. But Arsenal, boys, you are 45 minutes away. 45 minutes away from greatness, from being etched into the history books. We talked about the 2001 double winning squad, the 2003, 2004 invincible squad. It's time to make some room on the top there for Arsenal to possibly get their hands on their first ever Champions League trophy. And Mikel Arteta will be telling his boys, more of the same, boys, more of the same. Keep frustrating PSG, keep making it difficult for them, and they'll have all the joy needed, maybe on the counter-attack. If Arsenal score the second, it's game over. It is game over. And if that Havertz chance went into the back of the net, we're possibly seeing a second half which was going to be all about Arsenal just putting in the nastiest of deep blocks and asking PSG, come on, try and break us down. Does Luis Enrique go for it at halftime? I think he should. I think Fabian Ruiz off for Bradley Barcola should be one of the moves. Keep Vitinha and Joao Neves as your 2 midfield players and try and put another attacker there and make it a bit more difficult for the Arsenal defenders. Bradley Barcola will give you that 1v1 ability on that left-hand side. Maybe have Kvaratskhelia playing as the number 10 and try and get those shots from outside the box, because Arsenal have shut everything that PSG have had to offer here. Yeah, from Arsenal's point of view, nothing's going to change for the opening 25 minutes or so in the second half. It's got to remain the same. Victor Gyökeres on for Kai Havertz. Until Kai Havertz is physically shattered, I don't see him leaving the pitch. I just don't see it, because his ability to let the ball stick and try and combine is still the opportunity. he still has that ability, and of course, having scored in the Champions League final, his confidence will be through the roof. And the PSG players are back out there. Massive 45 minutes, boys. Massive 45 minutes for David Raya to have one save, and that was a save that was relatively comfortable for him. That was the perfect 45 minutes from an Arsenal defensive point of view, man. Gabriel Saliba, great. I mean, I have to give my deference and huge shout out to the way that Christian Mosquera has completely locked up Kviza Kvaratskhelia. So I'm expecting maybe PSG to make that halftime sub here. If they don't, I'll be very surprised. Again, Martinelli as well. That's the thing, right? When PSG are going to get desperate at some point and the spaces will be left open. So for someone like Martinelli to have space in to run in on that left-hand side, I can certainly see that happening. So the changes will be made, but the same Arsenal team will be coming out for the start of the second half. I'm waiting to see the PSG look here. Something's got to change from their point of view. This can't carry on, because if it does, Arsenal are champions of Europe. Well, the PSG players are in their position immediately here. Can any changes at halftime? Have to wait and see. Again, Bradley Barcola for Fabian Ruiz would be my change from a PSG point of view. Maybe even Zaire Emery coming on for Ashraf Hakimi, just to, add a bit more in that midfield area. Almost push João Neves slightly forward, but I don't think that's happening here. The Arsenal fans are not just screaming, but they're praying in the stands. They are 45 minutes away. I was very surprised that the referee did not give the corner to Arsenal, but we are all set for the start of the second half. And we're off and running. As it stands, Kai Havertz will make Arsenal the champions of Europe. 45 minutes away from history. PSG, a poor first half from them. You need to see a little bit more, but Arsenal defensively, absolutely outstanding. And now on the left-hand side, PSG looking for a quick start here. Kvaratskhelia playing a lot more centrally here. Kvaratskhelia drives onto the left-hand side. Ball into the box here. Well defended by Gabriel. Well, Luis Enrique's halftime team talk immediately on display here. He wants a lot more quickness. He's not made a change at halftime either. Gabriel defending very well at the near post. I was expecting Luis Enrique to go for it, but he hasn't. Certainly an interesting call from Lucho. PSG looking to go back-to-back in the Champions League. It has not happened. Oh my word, what is the ref doing here? He's given Mosquera a yellow card. Why? Man. Is that for time wasting? The ref is certainly having a few dubious moments. I'm not going to lie, boys. To give Mosquera a yellow card for nothing, for a guy who kept his cards in his pocket, is given the first yellow card for nothing in the Champions League final, man. And now Mosquera will have to walk the tightrope. Ken, for what? Was it just time wasting? Why would they be? I mean, you got to give a warning before you book him. That is not a good call. Arsenal have to quickly deal with that. Saliba, again, this is not the first time we've seen him drive forward, but he's now caught out of position. But a foul there. Free kick for Arsenal. Desiree Doué. Again, had one shot from outside the box on his left foot. Need to see a bit more from the young Frenchman, but Saliba, imperious as always. Free kick for Arsenal. This is what they wait. This is what they pounce about, but they've taken it short, surprisingly. Here's Trossard. To Declan Rice. Rice will deliver the ball into the box. It's easily headed away by Marquinhos. Declan Rice again onto the left. Trossard. PSG have to stop with the fouls and the set pieces, handing it over to Arsenal. Again, I'm not sure, boys. Why did Mosquera get booked? What's the commentator saying, or what's the news from out there? Because that was a dubious yellow card if I've ever seen one. Here's Piero Hincapié getting forward for the first time. Here's the goal scorer, the match winner as it stands, Kai Havertz. No real conviction into the cross, but Arsenal still have the ball in the final third. To Declan Rice. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. Champions League final settings here. Sure, the heart must be beating out of your chests. You got to hang on here, but 3 minutes into the second half, game has followed a similar pattern. And Luis Enrique possibly just showcasing his experience here, not panicking. Mr. Kashishpal, it's going to be hell in your household, isn't it? It really will be. Remember in 2006, Arsenal did take the lead before half-time on that occasion. Sol Campbell with the header from a Thierry Henry ball into the box. From there, Barcelona in the second half pulled out 2 goals here. It's a good carry here. Nuno Mendes somehow shrugs off the challenge. Oh, there's an opportunity. It was Vitinha. Couldn't bring that under control. Kai Havertz does well. He's not getting the foul either. Oh, the ref. Dubious stuff. Again, cross comes into the box. Desiree Doué, poor ball in. Very poor ball in. Luis Enrique needs more from his side. More intensity, more decisiveness in the final third. They continue to dominate possession, but they're not really doing too much with the ball. The ref is doing something. He's cooking something here. PSG are definitely getting the decisions. But if you look at the 2 big decisions right in the first half, the ball came off Trossard's arm and Saka had a slice clearance that came off his arm. So they'll say that, look, you gave a couple of decisions to Arsenal. Now it's time to give us some. 2 wrongs don't make a right, though. But 5 minutes into the second half, it's easy work for Arsenal, isn't it? Vitinha looking to dictate here. Dembele is holding the width on the right-hand side. PSG play out the press beautifully. Now Kvaratskhelia driving through the central areas. Here's Kvaratskhelia. Dembele wants the ball. He gets it played to him now. Good play this from Paris Saint-Germain. And now Dembele up against Piero Hincapié. Good defending by the Ecuadorian. Dembele has had a poor game by his standards. William Pacho mops up comfortably. But Savinov had no chance stopping that Kai Havertz strike. Other than that, he hasn't been really troubled. But 5 minutes into the second half, light work for Arsenal. Arsenal have completed 84 passes in the entire match so far. 84 in 50 minutes. Your eyes are still adjusting to the cam angle. It's a bit weird. Again, not used to seeing the sun beaming down the stadium in a Champions League final. It's always darkness. It's always under the lights. It's all an adjustment for us. Here's William Pacho. Vitinha now. Again, where's the PSG intensity? They're playing in the patience game. They'll feel that if they can pull a goal back, they might be in business here. Fabian Ruiz. Seeing a bit of shifts here. It's Fabian Ruiz almost playing as right back and Nuno Mendes in a central position. That's certainly a choice from Luis Enrique. Keeping the same personnel while making the adjustment within the system. That's a foul throw, ref. Yeah, it is. João Neves in a Champions League final for a foul throw like that. That is beyond schoolboy. Arsenal can reset here. David Raya punts it forward. Savinov comes a long way to play sweeper-keeper. Ruiz trying to win the header. Declan Rice in close attendance. Here's Kai Havertz. Oh, he went for the touch around the corner for Leandro Trossard. PSG almost inviting the Arsenal press here. You can understand why they'll have to take a bit of risk for the reward. Try and create the overloads. Again, PSG not able to stitch those passes. Raya again, no interest in playing out the back. Just boots it forward. Another foul. Still looking comfy for Arsenal. Something's got to change, boys. This cannot be the rest of the match. I mean, 1-0 to the Arsenal would not have been the craziest of predictions, but to see him shut out the PSG squad certainly is brilliant from them. Mikel Arteta, after 6 years and $1 billion spent, looks like he's going to deliver the goods. Here's Dembele now trying to isolate the Ecuadorian defender. Dembele, ball in, nicely done. João Neves, ball into the box. Terrible from João Neves, but PSG win the ball back swiftly. Desiree Doué. And now Arsenal on the counter-attack could be in business. I think the foul has been given. It's a yellow card for Bukayo Saka. Whew. Need to have a look at this challenge here. I think he catches Desiree Doué, but I think he gets the ball first. Saka cannot believe it. After Mosquera picked up a yellow card. Ooh, you can see Saka goes slightly over the top here, man. He gets the ball first, but he just has a raking motion on Desiree Doué. Harsh yellow card. Harsh foul as well. But again, when you make that motion, when your studs are up and you do catch your opponent, can go either way. But approaching the 10-minute mark into the second half, PSG have a free kick from dead center here. It's the two fullbacks who are conspiring here, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. Almost feels like PSG need a moment of magic to try and open up this Arsenal defense. Arsenal have shut everything down so far, but a goal here for PSG changes the complexion of the match completely. Game's on a knife edge here. Is it Nuno Mendes? Is it Achraf Hakimi? Or will Vitinha have a pop here? It's Achraf Hakimi! It's straight at Raya. Comfortable for the Spaniard. Another shot on target, but another easy save for David Raya. Arsenal now trying to keep the ball here. They've just kept on pumping it forward. It's going to be a lesson in defense. Kai Havertz wants to foul. He's not going to get it. Over 10 minutes into the second half. Comfortable still for Arsenal. Now a bit of space opening up on the left-hand side. Here's Kvaratskhelia. On to the left, looking for the cross into the box. Look at the number of Arsenal bodies in the box, man. Goodness me. How are you going to try and get a shot away when you've got 6 or 7 giants in the box? Here's Hakimi. On to the right-hand side. Keeps it patient again. PSG continue to exercise patience, but that patience will be running out as the clock ticks on here in Budapest. Both on the right wing are yellow. That's true. Absolutely. Mosquera and Saka yellow carded. Oh, Nuno Mendes leaves it short. PSG trying to win the ball back, and it's a throw in for PSG. The Saka yellow shouldn't really bother, but the Mosquera yellow for time wasting so early in the second half was certainly a gift to Paris Saint-Germain. And PSG playing the game at walking pace here, not looking to turn it on. Here's Kvaratskhelia, goes on the outside here. It's a terrible ball in. Again, the final third decision making and deliveries has been rubbish. Hakimi shrugs off the challenge. Fabian Ruiz now. Oh, well defended. It's Trossard, isn't it? Brilliantly done there by the Belgian. Well, Kai Havertz is 1v1 up against William Pacho here. Might be a foul there by Kai. William Pacho gets down immediately. Some of them are fouls, Aman. I can understand. I can understand your frustration because Arsenal are getting no calls. But yep, that's clearly a foul by Kai Havertz. Drives the elbow into the sternum of William Pacho. Decent free kick there by Hakimi, but the wall did part. That's when you want your wall to do the job. Had any sort of venom and curl on it. Could have very easily found its way into the corner. Here's Fabian Ruiz. Again, Ruiz is playing as right back here. If you're going to do that, shouldn't Zaire Emery be the call? I mean, Zaire Emery has played right back on a couple of occasions. He can invert into midfield. He's got a bit more physicality about him. Can pass, can shoot. Fabian Ruiz Remains to get the trust. Here's Marquinhos. Arsenal just over half an hour away. Good pass forward. Nuno Mendes trying to barrel his way forward. Foul given. Bukayo Saka does very well. Saka does brilliantly there to track the run. Again, Enrique, is he waiting for the 60th minute? I mean, feels that he might have waited slightly too long. He's made a tactical tweak. He's played Nuno Mendes a lot more centrally and Fabian Ruiz as the right back inverting into midfield. But again, it's not really a difference maker from an Arsenal point of view because defensively the task remains the same. Mendes can break the line centrally, but again, someone like Bradley Barcola and Zaire Emery coming on will change the dynamics for PSG. From Arsenal's point of view, Subamendi, Martinelli, Victor Gyökeres, all viable options off the bench. Here's Savinov. Into the 60th minute, boys. You're half an hour away. Half an hour from the greatest celebrations and something that you'll never forget for the rest of your life. I still remember in 2011 when Chelsea won the Champions League in Munich. I could not explain the emotions that I felt. And then when it happened in 2021, I just dropped to my haunches with tears coming down my eyes. It just might happen to you guys as well. Here's Vitinha. Declan Rice on him like a rash. Rice does very well, but PSG come out with the ball. Saka, he's on a yellow card, needs to be careful. Saka's asking the question, how's that a foul, ref? Mikel Arteta is losing his mind on the touchline. He'll feel that he's got no decisions here. That is, again, Saka gets his body in front of João Neves, so I can't see how that's a foul. Half an hour remaining. Ball to PSG. And I'm slightly disappointed here with Luis Enrique, man. He has not been proactive in terms of his personnel, considering all the options that he has. But Desiree Doué on the right-hand side here. Slightly heavy touch. There's an opportunity, but it's cleared away with ease there for Arsenal. João Neves picks up the loose ball, gets it back there by Vitinha. Here's the Portuguese international. Here's João Neves onto the left-hand side to Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia with the ball into the box. It's well defended by Mosquera. It's a corner for Paris Saint-Germain. Under half an hour remaining in Budapest. Arsenal on the cusp of greatness. PSG are trying to throw everything that they have here, but it's not worked. Kvaratskhelia is showing blood here as Dreyer punches well. Here's Vitinha. Nuno Mendes. PSG continue to remain patient. Kvaratskhelia looks for the back heel, keeps it nicely. Lovely 1-2 here. Oh, that might be a foul here, and it is! The penalty has been given! Can you believe it? Paris Saint-Germain get the penalty. That is a big, big call. PSG won a second yellow here. Kvaratskhelia gets the... This was the moment, boys. This was the moment. Let's have a look at the challenge here. Luis Enrique is quickly into the monitor. Christian Mosquera. Who was that? Was that a Mosquera challenge or was that Bukayo Saka coming in here helping out defensively? It was Mosquera. Oh, that's a pen. He's wrong side. And he's very lucky not to pick up a second yellow here. Oh, that's a clear-cut penalty, boys. You can have no complaints about it. He's come wrong side. He's made full contact with Kvaratskhelia in the box. You cannot do that. That's a pen. Yes, the referee has been shocking today, but that's a stonewall penalty. And Christian Mosquera is lucky that he doesn't pick up a second yellow card for a challenge into the box. VAR are having a penalty check here, but I've had a couple of looks at it. Unless I'm missing something, what's happening, boys? Is it going to be overturned? What am I missing? What am I missing? Kvaratskhelia gets his shin patched up. Has the penalty been waved away? Nope, the check is over. Yep, it's a pen. It was a pen, man. I know the referee has been dubious today, but he gets it spot on. Mosquera's fortunate that was a clear challenge. I mean, he's gone through the back of Kvaratskhelia. You cannot be doing that. Especially not on a yellow card as well. Bit fortunate that he's not picked up a red card here. And if PSG manage to find the back of the net, the half an hour from here is going to be stressful. Big moment in this match. It's going to be Ousmane Dembele who's going to take the penalty, isn't it? Is it going to be Vitinha? I mean, I'll be very shocked if Vitinha takes it, because I've seen Vitinha's penalty style. He goes with a hop. He doesn't put any power behind it. It's got to be Dembele, man. Well, the reigning Ballon d'Or winner will step up here. This is a massive moment in this game. David Raya, if there was ever a time to save a pen, this would be it. Vitinha takes the pressure off and now gives it to Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele is ambipedal. He can shoot with his left and his right. He might go with a right-footed penalty here. It's Ousmane Dembele! He buries the penalty! 8 Champions League goals for the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, and Paris Saint-Germain are back in the final. That's the moment they've been waiting for. Luis Enrique remains calm, cool as ice, and Arsenal will have to do it again. Oh, that's a big moment, boys. Big moment. Lovely pen there by Ousmane Dembele. Sends Raya the wrong way. Finds the bottom corner. Game on. It just felt that it was going to take something foolish, something out of the blue, something magical to break open this Arsenal defense. Christian Mosquera's challenge on Kvaratskhelia in the box, giving PSG a massive lifeline, and now Arsenal will have to change their approach. They cannot do what they have done for the entirety of the match. They got the early goal. They tried to shut everything down. They had no interest in playing any sort of football, and now they're going to have to go for it again. Jurrien Timber's coming on for Christian Mosquera. Mosquera did so well in the opening 45 minutes. Picked up a yellow card. He's off. And it looks like Victor Gyökeres is going to be coming on as well. Ousmane Dembele, what a shocking 45 minutes, but from the spot, nerveless. Well, how about this? It's the captain that's coming off. Big call there by Mikel Arteta. It's not either Kai Havertz or Victor Gyökeres. It's going to be Kai Havertz and Victor Gyökeres with 24 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in the Champions League final. It's game on, boys. It is stressful settings again. Well, trying to hold on for dear life in a Champions League final is certainly an interesting tactic. But now, Arsenal might have a chance early on here. Well, now Luis Enrique looks like a genius, isn't it? He's not made any subs. He's kept his powder dry. He's waited. He knew that all it takes is a moment for the game to flip here. Now we need to see more of Bukayo Saka in an attacking sense. He's had just the one moment really attacking-wise where he got the better of Nuno Mendes and put the ball across the face of goal. But now he needs to step up. Well, it's going to be critical that the Arsenal players keep their heads here. Paris Saint-Germain do have the experience of the big nights. Arsenal players cannot be emotional here. They'll have to play in a calculated manner. And now they'll have to come out and play here. This game could very easily go into extra time and pens. But PSG, now having a goal back, will feel that they have the impetus to go on forward and try and retain the Champions League here. Trossard hooks the ball into the danger area. Pacho just hammers that clear. I think that's a foul again. Arsenal have to be careful here. Jurrien Timber is saying the same thing. Calm down, lads. The PSG players now looking cool as ice. Kashishpal not happy. Not happy. It's going to be stressful. It was never going to be straightforward, boys. It's a Champions League final after all. Remember 2021 Chelsea against Manchester City after Kai Havertz scored in the first half? I was a nervous wreck. I thought my heart was just going to stop. And when Riyad Mahrez in the last kick of the game found the roof of the net, I thought he found the top corner and nearly collapsed. You're going to have to go through it in a Champions League final. Beautiful pass there by Desiree Doué. And now Achraf Hakimi. It's a corner for Paris Saint-Germain. And now they feel that they're in business here. The momentum has completely swung. We saw Paris Saint-Germain dominating possession for most of the stage here. Is it going to be flashbacks of 2006, where Arsenal took the lead in the first half and in the second half saw it overturned? PSG take the corner shot here. Here's Desiree Doué. Declan Rice there defensively. Doué, dancing feet. You can see there, Rice not looking to bite into the challenge. Dembele holding the width here. Ball into the box on his left foot. Overhits again. Well, Dembele is lucky he got a penalty because this performance from him is very much forgettable. Good pen there by Dembele. Finding the bottom corner, and PSG now will feel that the game is theirs, boys. Arsenal need to change something here. The approach, well, Kai Havertz will be dropping deep. PSG will feel that they caught life. They really did catch life because it's not going to happen in open play by the looks of it. Dembele with 8 Champions League goals. His biggest one so far. As we approach the final 20 minutes, what's going to change? What has to change from Arsenal's point of view? They have to keep the ball better. They cannot just keep booting it forward. Yes, now Victor Gyökeres is there. It might give them more of an incentive to keep lumping it forward. But every time that they do that, PSG will feel that they have enough defensively to try and shut down those positions and defend deep. See, Tony Parker there. Is that Jack Whitehall and David Beckham? Yes, it is. What's Jack Whitehall doing there? He's a British comedian. And of course, Katie Abdo. And under 20 minutes remaining here in Budapest. Feels that this might go the distance. I think we'll be glad that the match started at 9:30 India time, because if this goes to extra time and potentially pens, would be better. Big 20 minutes coming in. Kai Havertz, as it stands, will not be the match winner, but history books will remember him as a man who scored in 2 Champions League finals for 2 different London clubs. We're back underway after that long-ass break. I mean, we've had far too many breaks in the match. William Pacho heads. Seeing Timber in the midfield. Here's Trossard now. Immediately shut down. And now Vitinha. Beautiful pass at the outside of his boot. Finding Desiree Doué, but can't keep that in play. Again, PSG are yet to make subs, man. Their substitutes can certainly make a difference. Someone like Zaire Emery, Bradley Barcola. They can definitely change the game. They want a focal point. They can bring on Gonzalo Ramos as well, but I don't see Dembele coming off here. Ooh, that's a poor pass there by David Raya. Achraf Hakimi picks up the loose pass, and on the right-hand side is Ousmane Dembele. Dembele will shift. Dembele shoots, but it's just wide. Well wide in the end. But that is poor there from David Raya. Is he trying to just bypass into the midfield? But that's a really poor pass there. What's up, Arsenal boys? You're not talking to me. Talk to me. What's happening? What's happening here? What's the solution? Something's got to give. Dembele might have a case that might have come off Gabriel on that occasion. The play continues. Arsenal continue to go long. They've had no joy. On the left-hand side, feels like it's PSG's game again. They've dominated possession. They've had all the attempts compared to Arsenal. 17 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Still 1-1. Havertz and Dembele, the goal scorers in the final. Strike from distance from Vitinha. A decent strike. Well, PSG will continue to remain patient. Don't be sad, Kashish. Don't be sad. There's still time. There's still a lot to decide. Where do you go from here, Aman? I agree. Where do you go from here? Because the tactics remain the same and it works when you're 1-0 up. Now Kai Havertz trying to do everything by his lonesome. He gets a chance here. Kai Havertz with the pass forward. Slightly overhit. Savinov bravely dives towards the ball. It looks like that's going to be the moment. That's going to be the tactic. Long ball to Havertz. Knocked down to either Gyökeres or Bukayo Saka. But it looks like Arsenal are running out of ideas. Now looking to cover spaces. PSG feeling like they've got an extra gear to go to. They still haven't made their subs too. Here's Desiree Doué. Again, we talked about patience, didn't we, in this stream, Aman? Patience being rewarded from Paris Saint-Germain's point. If we were the managers, we were saying, make the changes immediately at half-time, right? He holds his nerve. That's why he makes the big bucks. Well, something's got to change. Arsenal need to keep the ball better, man. They just have to try and stitch 4 or 5 passes together in midfield, which has not happened at all. Maybe Zubimendi has to come on here because maybe the ball retention of Arsenal improves. Well, one player doesn't change too much, but it seems Kashish Pal will have to unblock you. Don't be cruel, Mayresh. Don't be cruel. It's heartbreaking from an Arsenal point of view, but it's still not done. This game still has another sting in the tail. On to the left-hand side. This is better from Arsenal. Keep the ball. They have to keep the ball. That's a foul. Will be a free kick. Again, keep the ball. That has to be the message from Arsenal's point of view, man. 15 minutes plus stoppage time remain here at Budapest. Are we going to see a winner? Or is this final going into extra time? Victor Gyökeres, since coming on, has barely been involved. Arsenal still relying on set pieces here, trying to overpower the diminutive PSG side. A Gabriel goal, maybe? We'll wait and see. Again, it's David Raya taking the set piece, and after all that, he takes it short. Interesting choice. Again, down the right, here's Kai Havertz. Havertz might be running on fumes because he's been running the channels, doing the thankless task. David Raya goes long again. They're trying to win the headers, but PSG have a bit of physicality of their own here at the back. Marquinhos and William Pacho getting the job done so far. Here's Gyökeres. Trossard. Gyökeres again. Slightly heavy there. Trossard clips the ball into the box. Good header there. Very well done there by William Pacho. Trossard. Hincapié. Better from Arsenal. Again, another ball into the box. It's very much overhit. Jurrien Timber will have to scurry to retrieve. Onto the right-hand side. Here's Bukayo Saka. Now with the captain's armband. Bukayo Saka creates a bit of space. Well blocked. Well, better from Arsenal. Much better from Arsenal. We're starting to see them play a bit more football. Has been lacking from their point of view. Well, something's got to change. Something's got to give. Where do Arsenal really go from here? They need to sustain a bit of pressure. Oh, this might work here. Good play again. William Pacho. His deep defending continues to be elite. Arsenal have played here on the right-hand side here. Bukayo Saka immediately shut down. Saka needs to retain the ball a whole lot better. And now Kvaratskhelia can run here. There's a huge opportunity for Paris Saint-Germain to add the second. Kvaratskhelia got the pace. It's Kviza Kvaratskhelia. It's deflected. And it's just wide. That was the chance for Paris Saint-Germain to overturn the deficit. Big moment in the match. Great challenge. Lewis Kelly. Desperate defending from him. Hit the post, you know. That was a chance. Now the ball into the box. João Neves trying to get his header on it. I mean, that ball could have very easily found its way to the back of the net, guys. I mean, Lewis Kelly doing really well with the challenge. That's a poor corner again. Dembele is having a stinker, man. I'm not going to lie. This is not a good performance from Ousmane Dembele. Yes, he scored from the spot, but other than that, pretty poor. Arsenal's response has been better though. Now Saka trying to isolate Nuno Mendes. It's Bukayo Saka immediately shut down. Saka's not having a good game, unfortunately. Some of the big attacking names. Oh, he's been caught out here. He's been dawdling on the ball, and now PSG can launch another counter-attack here. It's Desiree Doué. Immediately shut down. Again, far too casual there. Desiree Doué just pushes Lewis Kelly down. Arsenal boys. It looks like it's Noni Madueke coming on. And Martinelli. We've seen. Is it just going to be like for like? Saka off and Trossard off for Martinelli and Noni Madueke. 10 minutes remaining. Fresh legs and pace is on. It's certainly going to be interesting. Martinelli, of course, 6 Champions League goals. Top scorer in the Champions League for Arsenal. Here's Ousmane Dembele. You look at the last 15 minutes, Arsenal slightly shaving those possession stats. PSG just continue to slow the pace. They can turn it on swiftly. Here's Fabian Ruiz. Again, it's Arsenal who have made all the changes. And Luis Enrique is running it here. He's looking to play the long game. And under 10 minutes remaining here. Feels like the next goal will be the winner. On the left-hand side, Paris Saint-Germain looking to sustain this attack here. It's Kvaratskhelia is driving again. Immediately shut down. Arsenal defend in numbers. Good carry forward on the right-hand side. Again, his progress halted. Arsenal cannot keep the ball. And now on the left-hand side, looking for the ball into the box. Again, good defending. Last touch comes off the Arsenal player. It's a corner for Paris Saint-Germain. And now Arsenal can make that double substitution. As I said before, Mikel Arteta generally makes like-for-like substitutions. He dropped Kai Havertz into the number 10 for Martin Odegaard for Victor Gyökeres to lead the line. And now looks like he's bringing on 2 fresh wingers. Is it just going to be like-for-like for Saka and Trossard coming off for Madueke and Martinelli? Kashish wants pens. Well, that might be the only way Arsenal win here, because it feels like attacking-wise they've not really threatened Paris Saint-Germain too much. Drag it deep to extra time and penalties, you never know, but it just feels like there just might be a goal before full time here. Take it to pens. Take it to pens. There's still a long way to go before pens, Kashish. Corner taken again. Dembele rises there. There's a chance, but it's again wide. It's William Pacho who attacks it nicely. Can't get that on the direction here. 8 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Martinelli and Madueke coming on now. We knew Trossard's going to be one of them. I'd be very shocked if Saka was coming off. It is Saka coming off. It's a big call there by Mikel Arteta. But he's going for pace. Over reputation. Saka with a quick shake of the head. The captain's armband went from Odegaard to Saka, and now it's going to be possibly onto the left bicep of Gabriel Magalhaes. And finally, PSG make their change. It's Bradley Barcola coming on for Kviza Kvaratskhelia, who won the pen. Again, like-for-like changes by both Spanish coaches. Kvaratskhelia off. Bradley Barcola, who's got twinkle toes, who can unlock a deep defense. But Kvaratskhelia will feel that he's done the job here in terms of bringing PSG back. PSG needed something. They got it via a pen. And now they have Arsenal on the ropes. Come on, boys. Talk to me. Talk to me. The silence is deafening. What's happening here? What's going to change? What needs to change? It looks like Mikel Arteta has made his moves. But something's got to give. Something's got to change. Because if you're going to hold on for dear life, even in extra time, it just feels like PSG just might take that moment with Arsenal getting a bit more emotional as the game heads in. Again, the defensive tactic works when you're 1-0 up, but when it's 1-1, it certainly becomes a whole lot more difficult. I can understand the nervousness. Champions League finals, never straightforward, lads. Never straightforward. You can feel the knots in your stomach. You can feel the stress throughout the 90 minutes and then some. It never is straightforward. Well, Arsenal have made their moves. PSG have made their first move, which is Bradley Barcola coming on for Kviza Kvaratskhelia. Just feel like something else can change, really. Arsenal going like for like. You've got to keep Bukayo Saka on the pitch, man. I felt that surely he's got to stay, but Mikel Arteta, trusting that his sub options off the bench might be able to get the job done. And Martinelli and Madueke coming on as backup options is certainly healthy in terms of that running ability and the pace, but they gotta have that quality in the final third. They've got Victor Gyökeres, Kai Havertz, Martinelli and Madueke on the pitch now. PSG, since equalizing, you just feel like that weight has been lifted off their shoulders. Arsenal on the right-hand side. Again, their attack just fizzles out. And PSG very calm here. We're approaching the final 3 minutes. It looks like this game is going to go to extra time. Talked about it not being easy. Here's Fabian Ruiz. 3 minutes plus stoppage time remain at Budapest. Kai Havertz's 6-minute goal cancelled out by the Ousmane Dembele penalty. Here's Marquinhos. On to the right-hand side. Now Desiree Doué. He's up against Piero Hincapié. Desiree Doué with a couple of step overs. Hakimi now. Cross comes into the box. Was that Vitinha? No, Jean Neves of all people trying to win the header. Now the cross from the left-hand side. Hakimi tries to attack it. Does very well there, Hincapié. Goal kick for Arsenal. Then David Raya, not threatened whatsoever. The way that William Pacho has defended, the amount of physicality that he's had to use up against first Kai Havertz and now Victor Gyökeres as well. The last-minute winner is still on the cards. Gonna have to see something change here. Something's got to give. Luis Enrique still looks very calm, doesn't it? He's just made the one change. There's a chance on the right-hand side. Well, now Arsenal on the move here. It's Gabriel Martinelli. Patient. Nketiah keeps it short. Again, Gabriel looking for options. Forced to go all the way back. Raya just pumps it forward. Again, Victor Gyökeres does decently well, but can't keep that much. And now the ball lumped forward. Brilliant pass. What a ball that is for Desiree Doué, who's in business now. It's Desiree Doué, lets it forward. It's Fabian! Oh my word, Vitinha! How close was that? That was the chance. David Raya, so fortunate that doesn't find the top corner. Wow, Arsenal just opened up on that instance. Look at this from Desiree Doué. He does everything right. Vitinha with the strike. Oh, how close is that? That is so close. Goodness me, he roofs it. That clips the crossbar. That could have been the game over, lads. That could have been game over in the most heartbreaking fashion. Great strike there by Vitinha. Give you a prediction. You give me a prediction. I mean, I have got nothing. It looks like this game is going to go into extra time. And it's PSG making a couple of subs here. 6 minutes of stoppage time, signaled by the fourth official. Who's coming on here for PSG? The Arsenal fans cannot watch. You're saying Arsenal can only win on pens. The fact is, you're going to have to drag it to the pens here. It's going to be another half an hour. Vitinha nearly finding the top corner. Oh, Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets center. He's there in attendance as well. The Denver Nuggets, of course, owned by the Kroenke Sports Entertainment Group. Wearing the Arsenal top here, the 7-foot monster. Gabriel now just slowing the pace of the game. Arsenal just feel like they just want to drag this to extra time, hoping that their physicality and their energy will take them forward. And Declan Rice's pass is not good. Arsenal is just in a suicidal mode by the looks of it, man. They're just not keeping the ball well enough. Just giving it away. Yes, there will be tired legs. The minds will be exhausted with the amount of mental exertion needed in a Champions League final. Dembele is feeling his hamstring here. Luis Enrique is going to keep a ball. Oh, I think Dembele is hobbling here. His race might be run. Can Arsenal pump it forward? But again, they can't keep the ball. Goodness me, Arsenal. Their ability to keep the ball in the final has been shocking, lads. It really has been poor. Just play 5 or 6 passes. Just at least attract a bit of pressure. Just everything is long and the short passes have not worked. It's been a bit of a car crash since Dembele has scored, man. The game plan was perfect for a 1-0, but for a 1-1, it has not worked whatsoever. Approaching the final minutes of stoppage time here. Yep, it's Gonzalo Ramos who's been coming on. Again, a like-for-like substitution by Luis Enrique. Taking off Ousmane Dembele for the Portuguese centre-forward. Much more of a focal point now for PSG. Ramos will occupy the Arsenal centre-halves a lot better than Ousmane Dembele, who's been floating around. Dembele, not the best of games from him. Very poor game, really, from Dembele, to be honest. It's the penalty that pretty much marks the performance. And PSG continue to dominate possession. Halfway point of stoppage time. Strap in, lads. It's going to be another half an hour by the looks of it. And Ruiz directing traffic. Desiree Doué again. Electric stuff with the shimmy and dance. He puts it across the face of goal. There's another opportunity. Fades that into the box. Bradley Barcola tries to bring that under control. Does well though. Arsenal cannot get a sniff of the ball. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Look at the way that the PSG players are playing. They're pretty much in the Arsenal half. All the changes made still hasn't resulted in anything different from an Arsenal point of view. Fresh legs, pace, presence, nothing's changed. Here's Neves. Vitinha. Just over 90 seconds remain. A goal will be the winner here. Vitinha again. Just look at the touches that Vitinha has and compare that to Declan Rice. I mean, Vitinha has probably had 100 touches of the ball and Rice maybe 10. Here's Marquinhos. Vitinha. PSG looking to go back-to-back as we're approaching the final minute of stoppage time. It's Fabian Ruiz, floats it into the box. Good defending by Jurrien Timber. Now Noni Madueke can open his legs and run here. He's giving it to Kai Havertz. Oh, that's a cynical foul there by João Neves. He's going to pick up a yellow card. That would be the opportunity for PSG to make their sub. João Neves had to take one for the team there. The nephew must be nervous. I mean, every young Arsenal fan has to go through that, doesn't it? They're not just the old ones, but it's almost like that baptism that you got to become a man by taking a bit of pain, footballing wise. For a young Arsenal fan to have all the success early on, that doesn't sound right, does it? Well, final minute of stoppage time. Gabriel wins his first header. It's cleared away, but not too far. Declan Rice's header to Gabriel Magalhaes. Last chance saloon here for Arsenal to try and pull a goal out of nothing here. Martinelli's ball into the box towards the far stick. Good bit of defending. It's Willian Pacho again, isn't it? What an imperious performance it has been from the Ecuadorian. Ball again here for Noni Madueke. We're into borrowed time here. Arsenal need to launch this into the box. Here's William Saliba. Cross comes in. Good defending by Marquinhos. Declan Rice, that might be a handball, and now a counter-attack opportunity. It's Bradley Barcola. He's by himself here. It's Bradley Barcola who's got the pace. This could be heartbreaking for Arsenal. Bradley Barcola with the strike. It's wide. Whoa, that was the chance. That was the chance. Would have broken the Arsenal hearts right at the death as the referee blows the full-time whistle at Budapest. And we are going into extra time, lads. 30 more minutes of stress. Bradley Barcola could have added the seal. That's a poor finish from him. And we are going to go into extra time now, lads. Well, two glorious opportunities for Paris Saint-Germain. Vitinha right at the end clipped the crossbar. And then, of course, Bradley Barcola with fresh legs has to do better. Poor finish from him. You could have been champions now, man. Instead, it's going to be another half an hour of punishment. Enjoy. Enjoy. Well, PSG have made just the two changes. Bradley Barcola and Gonzalo Ramos coming on for Kvaratskhelia and Dembele. Arsenal rung in the changes. Ødegaard went off first for Victor Gyökeres. Then we saw Urian Timber coming on for Christian Mosquera. And of course, both wingers being subbed off as well, with Saka and Trossard coming off for Noni Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli. Well, Martinelli has 6 Champions League goals, Gyökeres has 5, and Madueke has 3. So you do have your quote-unquote top scorers on the pitch. But something's got to change, lads. I mean, if you're going to have to take another 30 minutes of that. See, that's the thing. Arsenal made the changes and nothing really changed. I mean, if Odegaard was going to come off, bring on Eberechi Eze, no? Or am I crazy to think that? Eze not getting a minute in the Champions League final will not sit well with the £60 million man. But it's the greater good here, and it's not about personal glory. Martinelli is your guy for today. But PSG are going to continue to push here. They don't want to take this to pens. Spaces will open up. Kashishpal, another half an hour. Stressed out. Now do you want to call me or no? Oh my goodness me. As I said, the Arsenal approach works well when you're 1-0 up, but when it goes to 1-1, that approach does not work. I mean, you're saying Eze is a smooth player, maybe seen as too casual for a high-stakes final. Spot on. Absolutely spot on, and you need that kind of pace and that ability to cover ground. But he still can make the change. You've made 4 changes, right? Maybe Kai Havertz comes off and Eberechi Eze comes in, and Gyökeres moves as the number 9 with Eze as that number 10. Still not done yet in terms of all the ways that the game can be affected, but it's going to be another half an hour of real stress for you boys. I'm glad I'm not you guys. Extra time and pens might be the way for Arsenal. Have not slept, man. Poke till 6, and now this extra time. I swear, man. I've also had, 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Managed to get an hour's sleep in the evening. Hectic. Last night was amazing. Boys, this might be back-to-back nights that are unforgettable. Well, something's got to change. Something's got to give. We know that PSG are going to continue to dominate the ball. Exactly, Avan. If you guys win, there's no way you're going to get any sort of sleep. If you lose as well, how are you going to sleep? That is spot on, Aman. Spot on. Either way, it's either going to be tears of joy or tears of sadness. The Champions League has evaded you guys throughout your history. 2026 was possibly the year where everything comes together. And the 2 substitutes that are coming on is Eberechi Eze and Martin Zubimendi. Kai Havertz is coming off. And Lewis Kelly too. There you go. We called it, didn't we? How have you made 6 changes, man? Am I tripping? Mosquera, the 2 wingers, Saka and Odegaard. Or is that some new rule that I'm not aware of? In extra time, you get another extra sub, possibly. Yep, that's the only explanation. That's 6 subs that Arsenal have used. It's a brand new forward line. Again, that's a bit strange, isn't it? To try and get an entire new team to try and gel in the most pressure cooker environment in the final half an hour. Eberechi Eze, he was on the verge of joining Tottenham. He's got the Premier League in his hands. Is he going to be the difference maker? As we're into extra time, lads, strap in. This is going to be half an hour of pure stress. And we're off and running. 30 minutes of extra time. Kai Havertz opened the scoring with a Dembele penalty. It looks like Arsenal cannot keep the ball. Everything remains the same. That's a foul by Martinelli. It looks like it's normally 5, but with extra time getting the extra sub, it's the only explanation that I can think about. PSG have made just the 2 changes. They still have a few game changers on the bench. Someone like Kang In Lee in midfield. Zaire Emery. I don't see Desiree Doué coming off. Bradley Barcola, he could have scored, man, and finished it off. What a chance for him just to take the touch and then find the side netting. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody tuning in live to the stream, man. I really do appreciate it. All the nerves, all the stress, and you're still here supporting the channel. It means the world to me, guys. Whatever happens from here, thank you so much. Here's Barcola. Nuno Mendes. Back to Barcola. Again, the way that PSG have kept the ball and compare that to Arsenal, it's been chalk and cheese, hasn't it? But with Zubimendi now, I'm expecting Arsenal to keep the ball a whole lot better. It simply has to happen. Here's Eze, makes the ball stick, and now onto the right-hand side to Noni Madueke. Madueke has got fresh legs and he can run. He's got the overlap, decent ball in. William Pacho, man, how many interceptions has that man made here today? Imperious. I'm giving the man of the match to him. I love me some defenders, and William Pacho has been superb. Ecuadorian excellence. Corner for Arsenal. But it hasn't happened in open play for Arsenal since that Kai Havertz goal. Are we going to run back the corner routine here for Arsenal? Once again, they've got 4 players, as we've seen throughout the Premier League campaign, at the far stick, totally unmarked. They're all going to be making that run into the central areas. Madueke's delivery, it's decent. It's cleared away. It's going to be another corner, I think. Gonzalo Ramos getting the last touch on it, the centre forward who came on for Ousmane Dembele. Look at the Arsenal fans, man, in the stadium. They can barely watch, holding on to their mates for a bit of support. An Arsenal goal here, and the stadium erupts. And PSG employing the zonal marking. They're not marking anybody here. Arsenal players are going to get a free run at this if the delivery is good. Madueke delivers. Again, it's at the near post. That's a poor corner. How do you hit the side netting? Noni Madueke, that is shocking, man. That is really, really poor. Boys, do you agree with my assessment? William Pacho, man of the match? Nicolas Jova having a look at the corner routine, but it's all about the delivery, and how shocking was that ball into the box by Madueke, man. You've seen him run the ball out of play multiple times, but to hit a side netting from a corner, gotta be serious. You're not a serious player if you're doing that kind of shit. Throw in for Arsenal. Just feels like the game is just settled for the first time in a long time. Boys, what were you feeling when Bradley Barcola was running through there? Like immediately shutting your eyes? Pacho with another header. And Arsenal players might be caught out of position here. William Saliba smashes it again. Arsenal continue to play long. Pacho's header goes straight into the path of Noni Madueke. Madueke can have a run at Nuno Mendes. Goes on the inside here. Sturian Timber slips the challenge. Oh, the foul's been given. Ooh. How's that a foul, lads? Timber needs to be careful. Any sort of dissent, he'll get a yellow card. Foul on João Neves, but again, he's got the ball. He's got it under control. What's he done here? Let's have a look. He's just trying to shield the ball, and he's ended up possibly poking the eyes of... It's a tough call. And this is a good substitution by Luis Enrique, man. He's bringing on Zaire Emery for Fabian Ruiz. This is a top substitution. I was so impressed with the way Zaire Emery was, not just in the quarterfinals against Liverpool, but in the semis against Bayern Munich as well. Ruiz putting in a good shift. Zaire Emery now with a bit of freshness in his legs will look to try and open up the Arsenal midfield. Well, 5 minutes into extra time, PSG kind of lost their ability to man of the match yet to be found, still to be made. I understand, but I meant in the 90 minutes, if you know what I mean. There's still a long way to go. The next goal, whoever scores the goal here, is going to be the man of the match, the match winner. If it goes into pens, it's possibly going to be one of the goalkeepers, isn't it? Again, Raya's distribution has let him down here today. Couldn't find Piero Hincapié. Arsenal have got pretty much a brand new team out there, having made 6 substitutions. Well, Victor Gyökeres, since coming on, how many touches has he had? 1, 2? If that many. Barcola needs to be careful. He's being put under pressure by Jurrien Timber. There's Nuno Mendes. Zaire Emery, first involvement is a challenge with Declan Rice. Rice shows him levels, and that's a good ball there to Saka. Oh, that's to Eze rather. Keep thinking Bukayo Saka cannot be subbed in a Champions League final, but it was Eze. Good play there by Declan Rice. Zaire Emery's not had the best of starts. Needs to just get rid of the cobwebs early on. Arsenal pop it around nicely. Jurrien Timber. Victor Gyökeres trying to muscle his way forward. That's a foul on João Neves. PSG looking for a quick restart, which they do. João Neves has put in quite the shift. Victor Gyökeres waiting for one chance. 5 goals in the Champions League for the Swede. Clever flick there by Desiree Doué. Arsenal defend that situation well. Again, eyes on Raya's distribution. Decides to go long. Victor Gyökeres trying to win it. He can't succeed. PSG again secure the ball in midfield. Need a medical staff alongside to watch this match. Somebody administer the blood pressure. I said, I tell everybody else, if you're not an Arsenal fan, check on your Arsenal friends. They must be going through the ringer. Brilliant challenge here. And now venturing forward. That's going to be a yellow card for Victor Gyökeres. He's the one who lost the ball. He had to sprint back and make the challenge. It's a free kick for Paris Saint-Germain. Victor Gyökeres picking up a yellow card there. Well, 7 minutes remaining in the first half of extra time. Again, it was 3v3. That was a good foul to give. Gonzalo Ramos getting immediately hauled down. Cynical challenge there by the Swede, but fully expected that. Free kick for PSG. This is not quite dead central. Some of the Arsenal fans were biting their nails. There are no nails remaining. It's all skin at this moment. Vitinha with the free kick. Vitinha scoops it onto the right-hand side. Well defended. Here's Pacho. He's going to get a corner. Martin Zubomendi makes the interception. Ousmane Dembele almost acting like an assistant coach here. Standing along Mayulu. Wasn't a corner, just a throw-in. Here's Zaire Emery. Finds Vitinha. Take it to pens. Easy, easy. That's the strategy, isn't it, Kashishpal? Cowardice. Score the goal, park the bus. Did not work. The parking the bus continues, though. I-20 wasn't enough. Need the Kia. We're into the 100th minute here. Arsenal players, I was going to say they're going to be dead on their feet, but having made 6 substitutions, there's enough fresh legs there for Arsenal. Here's Vitinha. And like I said before, compare the number of touches Vitinha has had to Declan Rice. The 2 number 6s in the match. Tells you everything that you need to know in terms of tempo. Good carry there. It's a strike from Ramos on his left foot. It's Hakimi of all people. Thought it was Gonzalo Ramos. Hakimi from the right-hand side, dragging forward, smashing it in. Am I too happy or is this Kashishpal too happy? In the 100th minute mark, the Arsenal players on the bench, again, cannot afford to watch by the looks of it. Arsenal fans trying to drag their team forward. They're running on fumes. Mental energy a lot exerted. Mikel Arteta might have aged 5 years on the touchline. Good punt forward. I think my stream is back, boys. You guys got a pen? Is it a pen? I don't know. Sony Liv is shafting me here. What am I looking at? What am I looking at? I gotta have to look at the incident here. Here's Eberiche Eze. Again, I just feel like that incident's gonna happen here, so quickly get on with it. Let me have a look here on the right-hand side. Here's Noni Madueke. Madueke now looking to drive forward here past Nuno Mendes. Ooh, that was a challenge. Is it shoulder to shoulder? It's not a pen. It was waved away, not given. And now PSG can play through the center here. Here's Warren Zaire-Emery. It looks shoulder to shoulder to me. I'm not really sure. At that speed, it's very difficult to gauge. And now on the right-hand side, trying to keep it slow and patient here again, PSG. PSG don't want to take this to pens, mind you, because that's a flip of the coin. That's going to go either way. PSG will want to finish this in extra time. Cross comes in now. Oh, thought about the cross. Here's Zaire-Emery. Keeps it short again. PSG continue to exercise that patience again. Zubimendi gets bullied off the ball. Now on the right-hand side is Achraf Hakimi. Again, good play. There's Desiree Doué trying to dribble. Vitinha, he's been all over the pitch here. Gabriel with the clearance. The ref just wants to yellow everyone from Arsenal. He's given it to Declan Rice. Declan Rice has been having a word at the referee for a long, long time. He's been in his ear for a few minutes now, and Mikel Arteta picks up a yellow card as well. Declan Rice needs to be careful. Oh, Declan Rice has the captain's armband. I thought it was Salim. I mean, it was Gabriel rather. And the Arsenal coaching staff asking Mikel Arteta to calm down here. That's a pen, no? What am I missing, guys? It's only because Madueke does not have control of the ball. That looks like a pen to me. Yeah, that was a pen. Not gonna lie. Considering he didn't get any of the ball. That challenge by Nuno Mendes. Certainly interesting. That looked like a pen, boys. I'm not gonna lie. Looks like Piero Hincapié is down. Is Arsenal going to be made another substitute? Mayuresh, can you please use ChatGPT and let me know how many changes are allowed in the Champions League? Arsenal have already made 6. I've lost count. And Gabriel was signaling for a change from Hincapié's point of view. Nuno Mendes is a lucky, lucky boy. He is very, very lucky. And VAR didn't have a check as well by the looks of it. Welcome to Chelsea's world. We never get decisions, so. Now on the right-hand side. Final half a minute of first half extra time action. This is going to pens, lads. Looks like PSG are running out of ideas too. Beraldo's coming on out of all people. This is a strange substitution. 2 minutes of added on time signaled. Arsenal have made 6. It's not even 5. So whatever you're checking with your chat GPT is completely wrong. 1 extra sub in stoppage time. 1 concussion sub and 1 extra time sub. I know 5 are allowed, Mayuresh. I want you to give me cutting edge information. Arsenal made 6. Here's Vitinha now. And Sean Neves. Possibly the final attack of first half extra time. Yep, there you go. And on the right hand side, decent carry here. Thought about the cross. Throw in for PSG. Here's Nuno Mendes, who should count himself very lucky to have not conceded that penalty on Noni Madueke. Hammered forward again. Eberiche Eze tries to bring it down. Zaire Emery showcasing his physicality. Good little play there. Now Madueke. It was a pen. It really was a pen. I'm not going to lie, Kashish. This is stolen. It's a disgrace. Remember Drogba in 2008, 2009 against Barcelona, where we had like 5 stonewall penalties? Drogba saying it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's an effing disgrace. Maybe it's Arsenal's time now as the referee blows the whistle for first half of extra time. It's gone out quickly. 15 minutes remaining. Arsenal are feeling aggrieved that they thought that there was a pen there for them. It was waved away by the referee. VAR nodding, having a check as well. Vitinha is hobbling around. 15 minutes remaining, lads. One final push to try and take this into stoppage time. Havertz scoring in the 6th minute. Dembele scoring in the 65th minute. Chelsea versus Barcelona is unforgivable, man. I mean, oh my goodness me. That's the first time. I was that 16, 17 at the time? I still had the twinkly eyes, still, having faith in the world. When I saw that game, that's when I realized, oh, there are bigger powers at stake. Some people have the result already determined. And Chelsea almost did everything in their power to reach the final as well. And I'm convinced we would have beaten Manchester United in the final and Rome as well. But they had different plans. Andres Iniesta's goal in the final minute found the top corner and just shattered my heart. Van der Sar, Rio Ferdinand, all having a discussion there. But the thing is, since Kai Havertz scored in the 6th minute, Savinov has not had too much to do. There was one ball that was played across the face of goal, which was well cleared from him. But other than that, Arsenal in an attacking sense didn't really do much. Was there any investigation after Chelsea versus Barca? It was too clear to let the ref off the hook. He never refed again. He was a Norwegian referee, never refed at the top level, and he got that game to ref. That's when I realized, oh, there's conspiracy theories are all true. They're all valid. There was definitely something at play there. Never forgive Barcelona for that. That was Guardiola's first Champions League as well. It looks like Beraldo and Zabarni are coming on. This is very interesting here from Luis Enrique. Not the changes that we expected. Vitinha and Marquinhos coming off. This is a very weird substitutions, man. Lucas Beraldo and Zabarni coming on. Vitinha for an injury, I understand, but Marquinhos coming off is certainly a choice. We saw Ilya Zabarny for Bournemouth last season, who was absolutely outstanding. He earned his move to Paris Saint-Germain, but he's barely gotten any sort of games, especially at the top level in the big games. It's been Willian Pacho and Marquinhos as the two centre-halves. But Zabarny has got 15 minutes. And Beraldo coming on is certainly a choice from Luis Enrique. William Pacho still on the pitch. He's got a new partner defensively now. Final 15, lads. Every time the camera pans to an Arsenal fan, he's just chowing down on his nails. For a guy who used to bite his nails, luckily I kicked that habit about 4 or 5 years ago. I do sympathize though. Well, final 15 minutes and what has been a crazy Champions League final in Budapest here. Is there going to be a final twist or is this going to pens? We'll wait and see. And we're off and running. 15 minutes for either a winner or this final going into pens. Again, I'm thinking, which is the last Champions League final that went into pens? I remember Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid. That was in Lisbon as well. That went into pens. Other than that, am I missing anything? It's been a lot of 1-0s. Chelsea winning 1-0, Bayern winning 1-0, PSG putting 5 past Inter Milan last season. I think if my memory serves me right, the last Champions League final which went to pens was between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. Marish, are you going to Google that again? We might need it. Think I'm sure about it, but might be wrong. Might be missing something. Here's Ilya Zabarny, the Ukrainian centre-half. Again, to come on in a Champions League final with 15 minutes remaining, possibly taking pens as well. Well, Arsenal, if this is going to pens, who are your 5 penalty takers? I mean, you don't want to think too far ahead. That's a decent header by Bradley Barcola. Good save there. And João Neves on the follow-up. Can't make the final touch count. That was a chance. Bradley Barcola with a tremendous leap at the far stick. And he puts it into the danger area. Raya does very well. João Neves was there waiting for scraps. Okay, not the most convincing bit of goalkeeping there by Raya, but he'll take it. Should have gone with the knuckle, decides and catches his wrist. But again, I'm looking at Arsenal's 5 penalty takers as it stands. It's going to be Noni Madueke, Victor Gyökeres, Eberechi Eze, Zubomendi and Declan Rice. Maybe Martinelli? Not sure. Oh, decent play this. This might not go to pens. Here's Desiree Doué, deflection. Eze can't clear. Here's Ilya Zabarny. 13 minutes remain. Ashraf Hakimi now. Finding Warren Zaire-Emery. Hakimi again. Bit of space opening up here. He's got the captain's armband now. And the ball comfortable for Raya. What do you think, Aman? What are your 5 penalty takers? I've got Victor Gyökeres, I've got Eze, I've got Zubomendi, I've got Declan Rice, and it's one of the wingers. Here's Rice to Piero Hincapié. Again, Raya's distribution not the best. And since Arsenal have brought on all that attacking options off the bench, yet to see Savinov really have a save to make here. Noni Madueke, he wants to foul. He's gotten it. That's a forwards challenge there by Desiree Doué. Madueke trying to rile up the Arsenal fans who've been all sitting down nervously. Now finally raised to their feet. 12 plus stoppage time in extra time. Poor challenge there by Doué, man. Why are you making that challenge? Sticks out a lazy leg. You don't want to give Arsenal set pieces considering they've struggled in open play. Set pieces is where Arsenal continue to remain dangerous. Declan Rice, captain's armband and all. Can he put in a brilliant delivery from him? Big moment in this match. Declan Rice delivers. It's a flat delivery. Savinov clears. Good punch there by the Russian. Oh, I just noticed that PSG have a Russian and a Ukrainian in their side now. Zabarny and Savinov. Beautiful pass. Oh, Nuno Mendes, that is special. And now Zoran Zaire-Emery on the right-hand side. Martinelli tracks the run brilliantly. Piero Hincapié just bombs the ball forward. What is that from Hincapié, man? Keep the ball, jeez. And look how well PSG keep the ball in comparison. He just hammers that forward and says, PSG, come attack us again. There's nobody around him. Keep the ball. At least give the illusion that you want to keep the ball. Especially with tired legs, everybody running on fumes. Here's João Neves. Arsenal fans, talk to me, talk to me. We've got 10 minutes remain. Otherwise, it's pens. PSG have completed 743 passes to Arsenal's 181. That tells you an entirely different story, doesn't it? Nothing to separate the two sides. Kai Havertz and Dembele, as it stands, the two goal scorers. Nketiah is injured. Oh, that's right. That's right. He is injured, isn't he? You saw Gabriel immediately ask for the subs. Take him on then. You can see Martinelli almost acting like a auxiliary left back. Nketiah is going to have to swallow this one for 10 minutes, man. He's going to have to somehow battle through all the pain barrier. And we're going to see a lot of attacks from PSG on the right-hand side. And here's João Neves in the box here. Oh, last touch might have come off the Portuguese. I think it's going to be a goal kick here. Nice play there by Zubimendi on the cover. PSG fans, they can't afford to watch either. They're looking to go back-to-back in the Champions League. After 15 years of that project not taking off, falling on final hurdles and a lot of quarter-final exits, it's a corner. Ooh. 11 corners to Arsenal's 2. PSG's corners haven't been the best as Desiree Doué delivers. Terrible corners. Oh my goodness me, the corners from both sides. Shocking. Luis Enrique is still pacing nervously. Well, David Raya, I remember him saving a pen against, I want to say, Atalanta at the Bergamo, where he made that fantastic double stop. That was one of his iconic penalty saves. I've not seen too much from Savinov, to be honest, in terms of his penalty stopping abilities. Will we see Lucas Chevalier coming on, maybe? As a sub-keeper? Not sure, but we'll have to see. But looks like this game is going to go to pens. Arsenal are just dead on their feet. They're just defending from side to side. PSG, they'll feel that they have to win it here, because if this goes to pens, as I mentioned before, toss of the coin. On the left-hand side is Desiree Doué. Here's Nuno Mendes. Finds Ilya Zabarny. William Pacho. I mean, PSG have an Ecuadorian and a Ukrainian as their centre-halves, man. Score for the small countries, isn't it? Here's Zaire-Emery. Cross comes into the box. Gonzalo Ramos is the focal point, but good grab there by David Raya. 7 minutes plus stoppage time remain. I can't believe he's still on the back line. He's got no option, man. He's going to have to suck it up. Barney with a good header. Declan Rice. Good work there by Beraldo. Oh, Arsenal. My God, no muddle there, but Saliba mops up. Here's Zubimendi. Now finds Declan Rice. It's been an epic stream, man. It's been a long, long stream, and we're going the distance. Here's Saliba. Arsenal doing much better here, keeping the ball. Finally. This possession is fine, absolutely fine. Just keep it short. Make PSG do a bit of chasing. Nope, David Raya decides to hammer it long. It's almost like Mikel Arteta wants the press to be pushed forward. Mikel Arteta, somebody is measuring his steps. He would have probably covered 4 or 5 kilometers himself. 6 minutes remaining here. Boys, this is going to pens. Eze does well. Here's Nketiah. Back to Eberiche Eze. This is a chance for Arsenal to open up the PSG defense. That's a decent pass, but doesn't stick to Madueke. Savinov looking for a quick release. Soman, 5 penalty takers. Start jotting them down as the manager. I'm going Victor Gyökeres, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Eberiche Eze, and Gabriel Martinelli. Those are my 5. I'm not sure about the order, but those are my 5 penalty takers that Arsenal are going to have. And from PSG's point of view, Gonzalo Ramos, Desiree Doué, João Neves is going to take one. Ashraf Hakimi is going to take one. And the 5th, don't think Bradley Barcola will get one. Maybe one of the centre halves. Maybe William Pacho. Oh, Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes is my 5th. Whose shoes? Gabriel Martinelli? Yeah, Victor Gyökeres, Eze, Rice, Zubimendi. Is that Noni Madueke or is that Gabriel Martinelli? Either way, it's Bradley Barcola's ball in. It's well defended. Desiree Doué picks up the loose ball. Here's Doué again on the right-hand side. Under 5 minutes remaining. Oh, that's a poor pass, but PSG recover the ball. Who the hell is Shoes, man? Martinelli, I'm guessing. Yeah, I pretty much have those 5 as well. Here's Abarni. Onto the right-hand side to Desiree Doué. Is there going to be late heartbreak here? Or are we going to see pens? Here's Desiree Doué again. Nuno Mendes. João Neves. Everybody behind for Arsenal here. Everybody behind the ball. Zabarni, William Pacho, Nuno Mendes. Well, in 2011-2012, Chelsea won against all odds against Bayern Munich on pens. Didier Drogba scoring the pen, which I'll never forget. Even his run-up. It is burnt into my memory. Oh, good body fade there by João Neves. Nketiah is on his knees there. Decent ball in. Desiree Doué strike deflection. Oh, that nearly went into the top corner. David Raya carries. I mean, PSG, as brutal as it sounds, need to just go after Nketiah, man. Every chance that they get. Nuno Mendes picks up a yellow card for his challenge on Noni Madueke. Keep driving at Nketiah. They have to do it. That's the best opportunity here. Look, Nketiah can't run. One of the wingers, I mean, I'm surprised that nobody's really identified this yet. I mean, look at Nuno Mendes, man. He has manhandled Madueke on a couple of occasions. 2.5 minutes remaining, lads. Well, aren't you glad the game started at 9:30 p.m.? Otherwise, it was a 3:30 finish, at least. Raya's distribution, again, continues to be puzzling to say the least. 2 minutes remain. Gonna have to do it on pens by the looks of it. Again, if you're PSG, Desiree Doué, Bradley Barcola, both on that side, go at Nketiah. Gun him down. The fact that they're not being that ruthless, surprising considering it was João Neves of all people, who doesn't have the pace nor the trickery, who tried to actually go at Nketiah. Look at that. PSG with 72% of the ball, 19 attempts to Arsenal's 4. Arsenal have had one shot on target, which was the goal by Kai Havertz in the 6th minute. Timber is class, isn't he? It's Timber now in the box. Timber with the strike, side netting. Well, Yuri and Timber trying to just put that nimble feet up. Good play from him. Lovely touch around. Selzair Emery trying to catch off Safanov. Safanov opens up that near post a lot, to be honest. Again, PSG, for all the high IQ players that they have, this is some low IQ shit, man. Come on, you gotta feed one of your wingers and tell them to run at Hincapié. They've got 45 seconds remaining. Boys, this is going to pens. To lose it on pens will be heartbreaking. I'm not going to lie. Here's Eberiche Eze. He can turn this around though. João Neves on a yellow card. Has to be careful. Here's Zubomendi. Possibly the final attack of the match, and it belongs to Arsenal now. Declan Rice. Onto the right-hand side is Noni Madueke. Does he look to take on Desiree Doué? Desiree Doué is on a yellow card. Madueke is crossed into the box here. Good defending by Beraldo. Here's Victor Gyökeres now. Victor Gyökeres, can he be the match winner? Victor Gyökeres' strike! Deflection, corner for Arsenal. Arteta wants a handball here. The bench pours out. Gonna have a look whether or not it did come off someone's arm. Gyökeres with a quick shift and shoot here. Nah, that was never a handball. Never a handball. Victor Gyökeres riling up the crowd. PSG fans had their hearts in their mouth. They thought that might have just smuggled into the bottom corner. Well, Madueke's last corner was an absolute disgrace. This time, there's no choice but to get this on the mark here. This has to be the final attack of extra time here. Madueke to deliver at the far stick here. Noni Madueke's corner. This time it's much better. Barcola's header. There's a real melee in the box. It's pushed away by Savinov. It's a huge melee again. It's cleared away. Declan Rice takes the loose ball. Rice with the strike. Oh, it's a header. Oh, the deflection. Oh, I thought that might have smuggled its way into the back of the net. The angle really did fool me. That could have been that. Absolutely incredible. It's been a draining session. I think the referee has blown the full-time whistle after extra time. And we are going to penalties, boys. We are going to penalties, and it is going to be penalties to decide this season's Champions League winners. Piero Hincapié, a lion-hearted performance from him. He was dead on his feet, completely injured. He stayed there. He battled everything that he had in him. He might miss a lot of time out because he had to carry on with the injury. It's going to be pens, boys, and it's anybody's game now. Good luck, boys. You've done everything that you could. You've battled through adversity. You have taken everything that PSG have had to throw at you. And it's been just that one moment where Christian Mosquera fouled Kviza Kvaratskhelia, and from the spot, Ousmane Dembele finding the bottom corner. Raya is going to be the man of the match. Yep, it's going to be one of the goalkeepers, isn't it? It just feels like one of the goalkeepers are going to be the man of the match here. Well, peak defense versus peak attack, completely nullified. We discussed the 5 penalty takers. Let's do it again before the pens here. We got a bit of time before the first pen is taken. And yes, there's another thing that history suggests. Whoever takes the first pen, that team generally goes on to win the penalty shootout. This has been a study conducted all those years ago. Luis Enrique getting a heart-shaped huddle here, as he's probably picked his 5. Savinov and Raya. It's up to one of them to step up and be a hero here. We talked about Arsenal's 5 penalty takers. Victor Gyökeres, Martin Zubomendi, Declan Rice, Eberiche Eze, and Gabriel Martinelli. This is my prediction of the 5 penalty takers that Arsenal are going to have. And from PSG's point of view, Gonzalo Ramos, Achraf Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Desiree Doué, and who's going to get that 5th penalty? Probably João Neves. Mikel Arteta giving his final bit. I mean, Arsenal are so close, man. They're going it's either that, it's either going to be utter joy or just your hearts being ripped out of your chests. David Raya getting all the last minute preparations, getting a bit of help from Kepa Arrizabalaga as well. Raya going through his notes like a student going for his final exams with those last second preparations, hoping to cram in some sort of knowledge to try and use. That Bradley Barcola chance, man, in the final minute of normal time, stoppage time. He had to find the back of the net. Savinov getting some change as well. Is Budapest going to be Arsenal's Mecca? They've been waiting for a Champions League for all their history, and it might happen here in Budapest. The two skippers will be deciding, as I mentioned before. There was a study. Oh God, I can't even get it out of my throat. It's been such a long stream. Conducted all those years ago, where whoever takes the first pen, it's that team that goes on to win the penalty shootout. In 2011-2012, I wanted to remember Chelsea, I think it was Bayern who took the first pen and ended up losing. But that Champions League title was just destined for us, so you can expect. Well, Hakimi has won the first toss. I think he's picked the side, which is the PSG side. And now the all-important one. Who's going to take the first pen? This is the big coin toss. Hakimi wins it again, and they're going first. Declan Rice loses both the coin tosses. This is like Rohit Sharma, isn't it? Woo! And PSG get the side, and they go first. Pressure on Arsenal. Pressure on Arsenal. Good luck, boys. Whatever happens from here happens. It's either heartbreak or destiny. I mean, please finish it in the 10 pens, man. It should not be going past that into sudden death and stuff like that. You don't want to see the defenders take the pens. It's going to be up to the goalkeepers here. It's going to take pens to decide whether Arsenal win their first ever can't even get it out. Well, it's got to be pens to decide whether Paris Saint-Germain go back-to-back in the Champions League or Arsenal win their first ever European League crown. And we're going to see pens here. Gonzalo Ramos is going to be the first one to take it. Declan Rice lost both coin tosses, the side and who goes first. That is not a good omen. David Raya or Milo Safonov. It's time to step up and be a hero here. Gonzalo Ramos will take the first penalty. It's the Portuguese versus the Spaniard. Bated breath. Everybody holding on. This is toying with your emotions. I do not want to be an Arsenal fan. I never wanted to be one, but I certainly don't want to be one now. This is going to be crazy. Everybody is dropping down to their knees in prayer. Mayur, it's been such a long stream, man. I started at 8:30 India time. It's 12:20 now. 4 hours nearly on stream. I'm going to lose my voice for tomorrow, that's for sure. It's Gonzalo Ramos up against David Raya. Why am I so invested? I'm a neutral. Savinov and David Raya both been given the final warnings that they have to have 1 foot on the line when the pen's been taken. Raya and Savinov, the goalkeepers union. It's destiny time, lads. It's destiny time. Well, Gonzalo Ramos will be the first one to take the pen. That walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot is the worst, I think, in football. You're by yourself, nobody to protect you. The first pen is for Paris Saint-Germain. Gonzalo Ramos, who came on for Ousmane Dembele, will take the first pen of the Champions League final. Ramos! Beautiful pen. Top corner. Sends Raya the wrong way. PSG 1-0 up. That is a magnificent penalty by the Portuguese international. Not just sending Raya the wrong way, but finding the top corner with the side foot That is a proper centre-forward pen. Well, one centre-forward converts. The next is up here. Victor Gyökeres has not missed a single penalty in the Premier League that he's taken so far. This is not the time to miss a pen here, Victor. The Arsenal fans cannot watch. Victor Gyökeres generally goes that side. He goes across the goalkeeper with his power. We'll wait and see. Gyökeres versus Savinov. It's Victor Gyökeres. Beautiful pen. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Rolls it with his side foot. It's 1-1. Both the centre forwards delivering the goods. This is nasty, nasty stuff, Arsenal gang. And being second as well just adds the pressure. Who's stepping up next for Paris Saint-Germain? Who's going to make that long walk? Looks like it's going to be Desiree Doué. Yes, it is. Desiree Doué, who lasted the course. He's up against David Raya. Doué up against Raya here. Raya, is there ever time to make a save? This would be it. Desiree Doué with a central look here as he changes his run-up. It's Desiree Doué. Beautiful again. Easy. Slots it into the corner. Nicely done by Desiree Doué. Finds the bottom corner. Desiree Doué again just shows great composure. They've all sent the keeper the wrong way. A bit of a stutter step. And then finds the corner beautifully. Eberechi Eze steps up here, the £60 million man who made the switch from Crystal Palace to Arsenal. The Arsenal bench in the huddle together. It's been spotless so far from the spot. Eberechi Eze needs to score to draw parity here. Big moment in this match. It's Eberechi Eze. Oh, he's gone with the stutter step and he misses. After all that, Eberechi Eze sends his penalty wide and PSG lead in the penalty shootout. Oh, the technique and the execution, horrifying from Eberechi Eze. Well, if they had Odegaard and Bukayo Saka on the pitch, they would be the ones to take it. Eze's pen is horrible. Goodness me, Arsenal now have to come from behind. Nuno Mendes now steps up. The Portuguese international, who would feel very fortunate that he didn't concede a pen after that foul on Noni Madueke. It looked like a foul, but it wasn't in the end. Now has an opportunity to give PSG the lead here. And then the pressure is really on Arsenal. The Arsenal fans, they can feel the heartbreak coming, but there's still a long way to go. PSG lead 2-1. Nuno Mendes steps up. Nuno Mendes, it's a brilliant save by David Raya. He guesses the right way, and Eberechi Eze's penalty miss has been atoned. Great save there by David Raya. He guesses the right way, did not have the power nor the direction. Great grasp from him. Arsenal are still alive. David Raya has bailed out Eberechi Eze. Kepa Arrizabalaga celebrates that like he makes the save himself. And now Arsenal to score. To still drag it to parity here. That captain's armband has been switched around tonight. It went from Odegaard to Bukayo Saka to now Declan Rice, who has the opportunity to level things in the shootout here. It's Declan Rice up against Savinov. It's Declan Rice. Beautiful pen. Slots it in. Savinov doesn't move and we are level again. Well, as it stands, Nuno Mendes and Eberechi Eze missing their pens. It's almost like Savinov was just gambling to stay central and hoping that Rice goes centrally. Rice just about gets it away from the Russian. Well, one skipper completes his pen, and the other skipper steps up here. Achraf Hakimi, who scored the winning penalty against Spain in the Euros, in the World Cup rather, stepping up here. We're all level as Achraf Hakimi, good penalty, buries it into the bottom corner, sending Raya the other way. Nerveless from the Moroccan. PSG lead 3-2. It looks like this is going to sudden death and beyond. Arsenal fans are praying. Well, now it simply cannot miss territory here from the Arsenal point of view. Kviza Kvaratskhelia with the fist pump. Who's stepping up for Arsenal? Who's got the balls? The cojones to step up here. It's Gabriel Martinelli. Came on for Leandro Trossard in the second half. The Brazilian up against the Russian now. Martinelli, great pen. Smashes it close to the top corner. And now we are into sudden death. 3 each. Oh my word. This is going to be heartbreaking for either team to lose it from here. Very good penalty there by Gabriel Martinelli. Arteta knows that's a big pen because now it's sudden death. This is sudden death territory. Beraldo. Oh, this is a big call. Luis Enrique clearly trusting the centre half here. It's not Joao Neves. It's Lucas Beraldo. This is the game here, Arsenal fans. I feel it coming. Beraldo up against Raya. Beraldo, great pen. Raya cannot guess the right way again. And now Arsenal have to score to stay in the Champions League final. Great pen there by Beraldo. PSG have done their part. And now, if Savinov can save one here, PSG are the champions of Europe. Huge moment. It's Gabriel Magalhaes stepping up here. Again, a big call from Mikel Arteta's men. It's the centre half stepping up here. This could decide the Champions League final. It's Gabriel. He's up against Savinov to decide the Champions League final, or we're going further into sudden death here. If there was ever a time, look at Arsene Wenger. He cannot hold his emotions. This is going to be massive. It's Gabriel versus Savinov. It's a straightish action here. It's Gabriel stutter step. Oh, he's blazing over, and Paris Saint-Germain are the champions of Europe. They go back to back in Budapest. They win it on pens after Gabriel Magalhaes blazes his penalty over the crossbar. PSG go back to back. It is heartbreak for Arsenal. This is a cruel way to lose the Champions League. But PSG have got the job done, and boy oh boy, they've done it the hard way. Full time in Budapest after extra time where Kai Havertz scored the first goal in the 6th minute. Ousmane Dembele from the spot, and from the penalty spots, Eberechi Eze missed one. Nuno Mendes missed one, and Gabriel Magalhaes, the 5th penalty taker for Arsenal, blazing it horribly over. And the Paris fans are going to be celebrating all night long in Budapest. Hard luck, Aman. I feel for you guys. I really do feel for you guys to come that close and to see it get snatched out of your hands. I mean, yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. You guys are Arsenal fans, and I should be celebrating. But I can't, man. I can feel the pain. It really is heartbreak to lose it on pens. There is no worse ways. PSG celebrate. Mikel Arteta, he just looks up into the skies with a lot of what ifs. Arsenal fans are in tears. Great season nonetheless, lads. You won the Premier League after 22 years. You don't get the double whammy with the Champions League. And PSG get the job done on pens. Again, it was so surprising. Why is Gabriel the penalty taker for Arsenal? Why is it not Zubomendi, the midfielder, who's had a bit more class about him, a bit more composure in the big moments? They gave it to the big Brazilian who's had a great game. Marquinhos knows the pain. He's Mr. Penn in the World Cup against Switzerland, if my memory serves me right. But, oh yes, he'll feel that pain. And we talked about moments that players do not forget. The Steven Gerrard slip, the John Terry slip in Moscow where Chelsea lost the Champions League final. And now add the Gabriel Magalhaes penalty to it. Arsenal so close. PSG, 15 years into the project, it looked like they were going nowhere. And then they sell Kylian Mbappe and they go back to back. There you go. Savinov didn't have to make a save, but the Russian is a Champions League winner. Well, Aman, I feel for you guys. I really do. Somebody please check up on Kashish Pal. I may have to give him a call. I really do feel bad for you guys. And the only reason you feel bad for Arsenal is the amount of friends, family that I have supporting the Gunners. I feel for you lads. It's really unfortunate. You were that close. You're going to have to wait another year. Well, an epic stream. 4-hour stream. I got nothing left in the tank, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream despite what happened in the result. Luis Enrique, for all the personal tragedy he suffered. I mean, he lost a 6-year-old kid through an illness. And for him to celebrate like that, there is a bit of justice, isn't it, in life? PSG, Aman, that's gracious enough from you to say, man. They did deserve it. They were the better side. They're the ones who came out and played the maximum amount of football. It really is heartbreaking from an Arsenal point of view. Jurrien Timber is in tears. So will a lot of the Arsenal fans. Thank you so much, guys, for joining into the stream. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Hard luck, Arsenal. Better luck next season. But you still have the Premier League to celebrate. And that parade will still be a top one. Thank you so much, guys. Commiserations to Arsenal. Congratulations to Paris Saint-Germain. A Champions League final that went the distance. See you guys. Well, the season's done. I'm going to have to wait and see whether or not India has the broadcast for the World Cup. Otherwise, the watch-alongs will be for next season. If we do have the broadcast rights, I will be live for the World Cup games as well. Despite the timings, we got to do a job here. We got to get stuff done here. And I absolutely love doing it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I absolutely love you guys for tuning in, supporting the channel throughout the season. It's been a bumpy ride, late nights, but thoroughly enjoyable. Thank you so much.